The 85-year-old was released on humanitarian grounds, but doctors in the Tel Aviv hospital where she is recovering say she's in good health. Today, the Israeli military airdropped flyers in Gaza asking Palestinians to provide information on the hostages. 200 people have been held captive since Hamas militants attacked Israel on October 7. Israeli officials say that once their military launches a ground invasion, a deal for hostages will be nearly impossible.
And concerns Islamophobia is growing in SA in the wake of the war. Arsonists have struck at mosques in Woodville North and Parkholme in recent days. Local Islamic leaders will meet with police today to look at boosting security. Police Minister Joe Sockart says any hate crimes will not be tolerated.
This type of aggression in any place of worship is atrocious.
The Prime Minister's announced changes to how Australia shares sensitive information and military technology to continue building the AUKUS alliance. Anthony Albanese has been meeting with both sides of US politics to discuss the military pact. Congress is looking to make it easier to export crucial defence equipment to Australia. Mr Albanese says it's important we have a consistent approach.
We'll be introducing legislation by the end of the year, is certainly our hope. And it's about streamlining what is available for Australian information and technology sharing arrangements with the United States, consistent with the AUKUS arrangements.
Climate scientists are sounding the alarm on soaring temperatures, claiming Earth is entering uncharted territory. Georgia Condek explains.
12 international scientists have found 20 of the planet's 35 vital signs are at record extremes. This year is on track to be the hottest in over 100,000 years. There's already been 38 days where global temperatures sat at more than 1.5 degrees above average. Scientists say humanity is on the brink of suffering through unbearable temperatures, increased natural disasters and shortages of food and fresh water. They want to speed up efforts to combat climate change.
Uber is accelerating plans to become more environmentally friendly, importing 10,000 electric vehicles from China. Drivers will then be able to use the cars under a rent-to-buy scheme. The rideshare giant's planning to eliminate emissions from its operations by 2040. And a Tibetan spaniel has managed to survive in the outback near Broken Hill for more than 5 months before being reunited with her SA owners. Misha ran off in the aftermath of a crash which left her owner in hospital. A 14-month-old chihuahua called Baxter is still missing. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Australia will be hoping to continue its revival in form at the Cricket World Cup when it takes on the Netherlands tonight. The Aussies are searching a third straight win as they look to strengthen their claims on a semi-final berth. Last night, South Africa jumped up to second on the table with a 149-run thumping of Bangladesh. Quinton de Koch was the star with a brilliant 174, which means he's currently the leading run scorer of the tournament. And the Adelaide Strikers women have bounced back to the winners list with a 4-wicket win in the WBBL competition. That was against the Melbourne Stars. Well, South Aussie Thanasi Kokonakis is through to the round of 16 at the City of Playford event here in Adelaide after coming from a set down to advance. He'll be in action again later today. To racing, the trainer of Cox Plate Fancy, Mr Brightside, is talking up the 6-year-old's chances after drawing at Barrier 2 for the $5 million race. Trainer Ben Hayes telling Wide World of Sports the barrier is an improvement on last year.
This time, the difference is he's drawn well, Barrier 2. He's got a great record at the Valley. He's had 4 starts there for 3 wins, and his only defeat was in last year's Cox Plate.
And Bayern Munich has had a 3-1 win in the Champions League this morning against Turkish side Galatasaray. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Now the FIVEAA forecast.
Can't remember when you had your brakes checked? It's been too long. Call 1300 Automasters now.
A shower or 2 and 15 today, partly cloudy tomorrow 19, sunny on Friday up to 24 and partly cloudy Saturday 26, at the moment 11. More news as it happens on FIVEAA.
With energy prices continuing to soar, Solar Heart is helping smart Australians soak up more sunshine, store more energy and save more money on every bill. And right now, you can save up to $750 on Solar Heart solar power systems. The bigger the system, the bigger the saving. But with government incentives set to reduce, it pays to get in quick. Don't settle for soaring energy prices. Get smart. Get Solahard. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you ready to be blown away by a new BT50 bargain? Mawson Lakes Mazda has put together the complete BT50 package. With the purchase of a new BT50, you get free on roads and a grand's worth of exclusive accessories free. On top of that, you'll get our 5-year warranty and 5 years roadside assist. Or check out our heavily accessorised demo models. There are heaps to choose from. Mawson Lakes Mazda's complete BT50 packages. Stocks won't last, so hurry. Just a short drive from the city.
Live cheaper with Cheapest Chips. Catalogue sale now on.
Cheapest Chips.
Get a huge 30% off all Halloween costumes and decorations. And don't miss out on Black Dot clearance products like the Prinetti Pod coffee machine, only $59, save $40. Airless paint sprayer, $249, save $100. And the American charcoal smoker, $149, save $50. Earn points and get rewarded with Chippy Rewards. Check out the new catalogue out now. Live cheaper with Cheapest Chips. In-store or online.
The wait is over. Exclusive Hot Wheels have arrived at Drake's Supermarkets. Get your free exclusive Hot Wheels car with every $60 you spend. There's 15 cars to collect with 3 awesome sets of 5. Don't miss out, there's a new set of 5 released every fortnight. They're only available exclusively at Drake's, so you'd better be quick. They'll race out the door. Drake's, ingredients for race days.
You don't have to jump on a plane to find pals from around the world, or even leave the airport. Parafield Airport Liquor Store has thousands of pals in a huge old airport hangar. So maybe their pals are whiskies from Scotland, Ireland and Japan, but that's just some of their pals. With over 300 craft beers, 500 whiskies and over 2,000 wines. New pals from around the world are closer than you think. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
8 up to 6, good morning to you. Welcome to Wednesday on 5AA Breakfast, the 25th of October. It is cool. 11.3 degrees outside at the moment, and I guess more so than that, the expected top isn't much warmer than it is right now. Just 15 today, given what we've become accustomed to. That's going to be pretty bracing, I think, in the middle of the day. Possibly a shower or two around the place. This morning, to keep you warm, lots to talk about. The host, the former host of Channel 7 Sunrise program, David Koch, will join us after 8 o'clock. We're going to be chatting with Silvio Giannoni, the uncle of Seb Stone, the young man who got involved in a scooter accident in Vietnam, suffered significant brain damage. His family trying to raise money to bring him back to Adelaide. There's been some nice developments on that front. He's recovering actually exceptionally well, but still, they need to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars to get him back to Australia. We'll talk to Silvio after 8:30 today. And of course, it being a Wednesday morning, we're going around the courts with Sean Fewster. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Will. I reckon in 30 years' time, when David Koch is about to celebrate his, maybe a bit more than that, 40, 35 years' time, when Koch is about to celebrate his 100th birthday, he'll come on the show and you'll introduce him as Sunrise host David Koch.
I can't. It's just, I'm stuck in a groove. I've done it for too many years.
He's done the job for so long. Yeah. It's become, synonymous with him.
Well, how many years has he been coming on the show?
Oh, the whole time we've been doing it pretty much, hasn't
Once a week for 6 years I've been saying. It's hard to unwind it.
Yeah, it is. It is really hard, really hard. It's just sort of second nature. But particularly outside of SA, where at least here he's also known for his Port Adelaide hat, and in Melbourne as well. They'd know him for that, but overwhelmingly known for Sunrise. That poor kid in Vietnam, just shocking, isn't it? You think about the level of strife you can get yourself into on a holiday. Just terrible. But hopefully this money can be raised somehow for him. You and I have almost had a fashion faux pas today. Well, we look like we're a boy band.
What's that? We're wearing matching knits.
We've got our knits on. It's so cold in here. And Will's wearing a black knit with a white stripe, and I'm wearing a white knit with a black stripe.
That's just us.
It's pathetic, isn't it?
We're just a little bit of talent away from being a boy band.
When are we going to go on the Eurovision Song Contest?
That might be more our speed. Hey,
Milli Vanilli. We could be the sort of new Milli Vanilli.
They couldn't sing, well, neither can we.
That's right.
Sandy in Hallett Cove has called in. Morning to you, Sandy.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're good, thanks, Sandy.
Well, we haven't got any water up here at the moment.
In the cove, really?
Yeah, there's a message on the SA Water website saying that some customers in Hallett Cove will be experiencing temporary disruption to their tap water, and that's exactly right. We haven't got any water.
So what, you turn the tap and literally nothing comes out?
Just a dribble of water.
Oh, no.
So I've gotten up to want to go to work this morning and I can't have a shower because there's just not enough water.
Oh, that's miserable.
Have they said how long it will take, Sandy?
No, it doesn't say. So I thought I'd ring you guys and maybe see if you could find out.
Yeah,
we can do that.
We'll get on to SA Water about it and keep listening, Sandy.
Cool.
We'll come back and give
for
you
all
an
those
explanation.
just in case all those people up here are wondering what's going on, now they'll have a bit of an idea.
Well, look, if there's any listeners near Hallett Cove, like if you're in Shido Park or Trot Park or any other suburbs down south nearby and you're in the same predicament with your water, sing out. Because, I mean, sometimes these things are very isolated. You know, it can just be like 6 streets or something, but sometimes they're bigger than that. So if anybody else is having the same problems as Sandy, give us a call, ping us a text.
I'm just looking at the website now. So, okay, there's a couple of things going on here. First and foremost, they're saying Hallett Cove and surrounding areas may be experiencing a temporary disruption to their tap water while our crews carry out urgent main repairs. So that's the generalised advice they've got out for Hallett Cove. Then if you zoom into the area on the map that they've got and you look at sort of the Cove Road type area, there's a warning up at the moment about an incident they're working on that is a road sewer leak in the area. So it looks like if it's not on the Cove Road, it's near it. In fact, it's just off the Cove Road. It's on. It's near the.
Near the shops?
No, it's sort of near the little walk you can do there.
On the cliff top?
2nd Street. Yeah, the boardwalk the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just around that area, just to the north of that area. Looks like it's in a little 2nd Street, perhaps. That or that might simply be, you know, the graphical marker they put down might not be exact, but it looks like that's probably the source of this. We're going to call SA Water as we speak, and we'll find out as soon as we can for you, Sandy, and everyone else in Hallett Cove. But as David says, if you're in the surrounding areas, how wide is the area without power, without water? I would much rather be without power than water. Get up and go to work without a shower, that's a nightmare scenario.
You're a morning shower, though, like most people. So I'm a late night shower. I do it before I go to bed, because that way I get an extra 5 minutes sleep in the morning.
And I did the shower to wake me up. It's part of the process.
I drink cold water when I wake up. That's my thing. Straight out of the fridge, cold water, splash it on my face.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Pick my clothes up off the floor that have been laid there the night before, neatly folded, get dressed in the dark, drive here, and 3 minutes later, I'm at my desk.
So you're prepared, you've got cold water in the fridge. Psychologically, I've got a thing in my brain that if I knew that I couldn't turn my tap on and get water, I'd have this sensation of, I'm so parched, I'm going to expire unless I drink water. I would have a psychological sort of anxious reaction to that.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's funny. This job, though, makes you do different things, because my routine is like shower at night before bed, go to bed, get up, and then often during the day, I'll have one during the day as well. Sort of, post-gardening, pre-dinner.
That's fair enough. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, we've just been in contact with SA Water, and they've advised us this. The water outage is caused by a leak. We determined that from the website too. The repairs by approximately midday. Long time without water. They're saying water collection points are going to be emailed to us, so we'll let people in Hallett Cove know where they can pick up some water from.
Well, that's not going to help you have a shower, is it? Unless you're going to empty 500 bottles of Mount Franklin over your head.
It might be the art. You can prick holes in the bottom.
Yeah, that's right. Just, tie them together like kids' water balloons. Like when you shotgun a beer, just punch a hole in the bottom of the bottle with a biro and just stand under it. Hard to rinse, though.
If you're in Hallett Cove and you don't have water, give us a call. We're going to get more information as the morning progresses on that one for you. 8223 0000 the number.
Make your day a cream on top kind of day with a McCafe Deluxe Iced Coffee. A shot of barista-made espresso with the decadent taste of hazelnut or vanilla or caramel. It's real coffee, real deluxe. McCafe Deluxe Iced Coffee. Now that's coffee fit for an Aussie.
I like to call it a passion. I can be sitting relaxing. I'm spending this holiday locked in. Back then, wasn't worried about me, though. In the gym, trying to work on my free throw. What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in.
The new Kia Seltos. That's what's poppin'. And yeah, it's got options. The new Kia Seltos. The word is out.
Brand new whip, just hopped in.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
When you need to get the job done, you deserve a one-stop shop. When it comes to all things tools for tradies and serious DIYers, it's all in one place at Toolkit Depot.
The Toolkit Depot Seaford is having a massive car park sale this Saturday, so if you've got a project coming up, you can't miss it.
That's right, and the brands are great. Hurry in for exclusive deals on the day, including tool brands on site like Makita, DeWalt, Husqvarna, Kinchrome and Peerless. There'll also be food and drinks available, plus prizes and plenty of giveaways.
Don't miss Toolkit Depot's massive car park sale this Saturday, October 28, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 13 to 15 Seaford Road, Seaford Meadows. Visit toolkitdepot.com.au. Toolkit Depot, everything you need to get the job done.
Yes, it's just one little word, but at AusYes Migration, it's our favourite one. Can we help with partner visas? Yes. Can we help you apply for Australian citizenship? Yes. Do we look after New Zealanders who are now eligible for permanent visas? Yes. Skilled migration, parents' visas, visitor visas, status resolution for Centrelink payments? Yes, yes and yes. AusYes understands the system and is ready to help you. Go to ausyes.com.au. That's AUSYES.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
17 after 6, our statsman Ben Jordan's been in contact. He says today will be the coldest day in the last week of October since the 31st of October 1997, when it was 13.4 degrees. The hottest ever was 40 degrees in 1918.
Don't you think October 1997 would be one of the happiest months in the history of South Australia?
I reckon.
People will still be walking around going, oh, how good was that?
Yeah.
How good was that? Jesus.
I would have been on to about my 19th rewatch, I think.
Yeah. I wasn't living here. I was still waiting for my VHS copy to arrive. I ordered one in Canberra. Finally turned up about 6 weeks later. I think I watched it about 10 times that weekend.
Oh, my God, it was great. What a time to be alive. That's right. Let's get into some of the news headlines.
And so long ago, too.
Yeah, and it was only a short 26 years ago.
That's right.
Time for news headlines. The US Secretary of State says all hostages held by Hamas should be released immediately. Speaking at the United Nations Security Council, Anthony Blinken addressed the session, warning a border conflict would be devastating. Broader, that should read. A vote is expected at the meeting on humanitarian pauses to allow aid to get into Gaza. Mr. Blinken says it's important to stop the conflict from spreading.
One of those
hostages. We call on all member states to send a firm, united message to any state or non-state actor that is considering opening another front in this conflict against Israel, or who may target Israel's partners, including the United States. Don't throw fuel on the fire.
One of those hostages, sorry to jump in there,
That's right.
You and Mr. Blinken, is 9 months old. Imagine being the parents of a 9-month-old baby. It's funny, isn't it? I do feel that one of the really interesting things about this conflict is the sort of the shoulder shrugging that little fact still attracts. Maybe even more so the longer it goes on. You know, the fact that they've kidnapped a 9-month-old baby, have still got it. Like that baby, it might still be being fed by its mum. It's weird, isn't it? But the response to a lot of people, yeah, I stand with Palestine. It's amazing, isn't it? Like, that's why slogans exist, so you don't have to think about the humanity behind things.
That's what from the river to the sea slogan means. It means that little baby doesn't have a right to live there. So
yeah, that's right. It's pretty screwed up, isn't it?
Bit of a shame. White House officials hope the Prime Minister's diplomatic blitz in Washington will help ease the concerns some US politicians have about AUKUS. Parts of the nuclear submarine deal are bogged down in Congress. Anthony Albanese is sitting down with both sides of US politics in a bid to shore up support for the pact. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says the Prime Minister's visit will help, but the Biden administration is doing its part as well.
There have been obviously some voices in Congress who have concerns about what we're asking for in the submarine industrial base, but by and large, there's strong bipartisan support for AUKUS. I can't speak for Australia, but I can just tell you that from our perspective, we continue to provide briefings and information to Congress.
A Tibetan spaniel has managed to survive in the outback near Broken Hill for more than 5 months.
This Tibetan spaniel, I salute this Tibetan spaniel. Misha is its name. It's
Misha ran off and has now reunited with her South Australian owners. Ran off following the mayhem of a crash, which left her owner in hospital. There's a 14-month-old Chihuahua called Baxter that's missing, but Misha managed to make it back.
See, it's a very soft-looking dog, isn't it? You expect this sort of Chips Rafferty-style behaviour from, a Kelpie or something. But, never judge a book by its cover, I think, is the lesson from this, because this little sweet-looking, immaculately groomed spaniel has should be the next contestant on a loan. Survival skills like this, incredible. Hope the Chihuahua's all right.
Yeah, 14-month-old. Might be a bigger ask for the younger Chihuahua. Sleep experts say Australia's healthcare system is letting down patients suffering from narcolepsy. The disorder causes an urge to fall asleep suddenly during the daytime that's almost impossible to resist. Royal Australian College of Physicians Dr. Sheila Savam says patients are relying on outdated and cheap treatments.
Narcolepsy is a rare disorder. It's a debilitating sleep disorder where patients cannot function without proper medication. They fall asleep. While our patients are very similar to the rest of the world, we are not using the best drugs available.
Uber is planning to import 10,000 electric vehicles from China. The rideshare service would then issue the cars to drivers under a rent-to-buy scheme as part of plans to become more environmentally friendly.
The Chinese-made electric vehicles?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, they're going to charge all these things. City Council's got this huge fight going on at the moment where the Lord Mayor said she thinks that they look hideous. And they're trying to have this bigger rollout of charging points. And apparently we need 4,000 or something in the CBD.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 down here on the corner where we are, but I couldn't tell you where the other ones are.
No, there's some in Franklin Street near the bus depot that I've seen.
Why's the Lord Mayor the gatekeeper of what's good taste as well?
Well, I don't know. Somebody better ask her that.
So electric charging stations are ugly, and V8 people camping out for the race is ugly.
That's long been the council's shtick. I mean, I love Sandy Verschoor, but remember when we did that interview with her about the V8? She said, we don't really like it.
They do a lot of we don't like the vibe, or it doesn't really gel with us.
Well, it's
not very scientific, is it?
It is, but it's sort of like private middle class dinner party, the Adelaide City Council. I don't like that. I just don't like it.
Yeah, it's a private dinner party that none of us wanted to turn up at, but we're all sort of privy to the conversation the whole time.
That's
right. 54 charging points in the city at the moment. Just 54. How many did you say they need?
Oh, well, they need thousands of the damn
There's
things.
54.
Yeah, but they're worried about where they're going to put them all. I always say, Wellington Square, plenty of green space there, doing nothing. Wonderful text from Dave from Melbourne. I was talking about October 1997, what a great time it was to be alive. Dave says, October 1997 wasn't cold, Dave, it was chilling.
Melbourne coach Simon Goodwin has been in the news for the wrong reasons of late, but not this time. He saved a man's life in Bali. He was surfing with friends, including last weekend on the island of, I don't know how to say this island's name, so I apologise, Nusa Ceningan?
You start with a C, so it's Cheningan. Nusa Cheningan.
Anyway, a young man jumped off the cliff into the water, dislocating his shoulder. That's according to the Herald Sun. Goodwin heard the man's screams, rushed over and lifted him onto his surfboard. How about that?
Good stuff, Goody. Well done.
Well done, Goody. All right. The weather today, as you know, right now it is cold. 11.4 degrees outside, top of 15 and a shower or two expected. 19 tomorrow. Gets nice for the weekend. 24 Friday and sunny. 26 Saturday. 25 Sunday before dropping away to start next week. Maybe a drizzle on Monday, 22. Tuesday, 19. Tom Rand is in the 5AA Breakfast studio with us. Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderol.com.au. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. Yeah, bit going on, but I want to talk about Hawthorn this morning. What an absolute mess.
What's going on there?
Things have descended into for the Hawks. So they're facing now a compensation payout of at least $1 million over its handling of the safety cultural review, if you like. You know, this was the story regarding Alistair Clarkson and the allegations that were brought against him and Jason Burt, who was the football manager at the time, and Chris Fagan. Well, they're obviously not happy because the AFL, cleared them and exonerated them of any wrongdoing during the year. So now as the AFL wraps up that investigation, it's being reported the league wants them to make good on that, and that could potentially mean a $1 million payout.
What a shambles this whole thing's been.
Total shambles.
But who's that money go to? The $1 million payout.
To Clarkson, isn't it?
Clarkson and Burt and Fagan.
Yeah, right.
And having their reputation sullied.
I just don't understand though. How is it Hawthorn's fault?
Well, is that where the investigation originated?
Well, I just don't know. Given that the allegations against them have shown to be so fraudulent and baseless, I don't understand how it's the club's fault, because it wasn't the club that was making the allegations, was it?
Well, or was the club complicit in the release of the detail?
Well, that's possibly it, because the ABC got their mitts on it.
Yeah.
And Jeff Kennett, though, to your point, is saying it's not our fault. It's not the club.
Yeah, you're right. If they would just happen to be a party to the dispute and not actively involved in how the information got out, then it's an injustice.
Yeah.
So I have to believe that there's something that links them to how the information got out.
It's messy, though, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
We were talking about this 12 months ago, weren't we?
Well, when it broke, we thought this is probably the biggest controversy that's ever gripped the AFL, and the whole thing's turned out to be absolute garbage.
Yeah.
I think a lot of journos should go back and reread what they wrote about it, because it was a classic example of people wanting to believe the worst, and it went to a sort of broader Australian sort of guilt trip, self-loathing type mentality, where so many of the journos, particularly at the ABC, I can remember our tone when we covered it was like, far out. If this is true, if this is true, if this is true, if this is true, this is one of the most disgusting things ever. And I stand by that. If it had been true,
it would have been.
It easily would have been the most disgusting thing.
But isn't it part of this modern phenomenon where, the trendy thing now is you just always believe every accusations? And if you ever question them, you're sort of victim blaming or victim shaming.
Yeah.
It's almost guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
And you get all that fatuous, cliched stuff about, these people are talking truth to power. I was like, well, maybe they're just talking nonsense. Because that does happen from time to time, and it appears to have happened in this case. But there are a lot of people who are talking about Clarkson, and particularly Fagan too. Like, Fagan just seems like the world's nicest old school bloke. He must have been standing there going, what the hell?
Yeah, what's going on here?
But, a lot of people just swallow it hook, line and sinker, and almost seem to have tried to keep getting the defibrillators on it as a story. Like, there were stories that were popping up 3 months ago still saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. None of it ever made sense to me. From a matter of, can you imagine doing that or saying that? Whatever happened, it was people who got the wrong end of the stick.
Yeah, it's so look, that story's going to drag on. Cricket tonight, we look forward to that. Hopefully Travis Head back for Australia.
Who are we playing, mate?
Netherlands. So, they should win. But the Netherlands beat South Africa, who are all conquering at the moment. So
it's been a lot of great upsets, haven't they?
They have. Afghanistan have had a couple.
Yeah.
If Travis Head's not on the side, I reckon I'm almost barracking for the Dutch. It'd be hilarious.
Get on the Dutch.
A lot of Dutch South Australians.
They'd be very happy if they could pull off a big upset. Dutch community.
Get
out the
clogs. Some of our family friends, the Graalmans, the Van Essens. I went to school. John Van Essen.
Reminds me of that great Michael Caine line from Austin Powers when he says, there's two things I can't stand. People who aren't tolerant of other cultures and the Dutch.
What's that from?
From Austin Powers, I think.
That's terrific.
It's Michael Caine, just delivered in just classic Michael Caine fashion.
I have to cut that audio out.
Good on you, ready?
Thanks, boys.
Tom.
Gliderol Garage Doors, new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors are here. Gliderol.com.au.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
A shower or two and 15 with the 6:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettick.
Complete windscreen supply and fit, front, rear and door glass. Proudly South Australian since 1976.
One of the two elderly women taken hostage by Hamas has spoken after her release yesterday. She's described tunnels being operated by Hamas in Gaza as a spider's web. Her daughter spoke outside the hospital, saying the 85-year-old has been through hell.
When she first arrived, they told them that they are Muslims and they're not going to hurt them, and that they ate the same food that the Hamas was eating.
While the Hamas-run Ministry of Health says more than 5,000 people have been killed in Gaza since the conflict began, 20 more aid trucks are expected to enter the enclave from Egypt. And Islamic leaders in SA will meet with police today to discuss extra security. They're citing an increase in hate crimes in the wake of the war. 2 mosques in the metro area have been targeted by arsonists in the past week. Ahmed Zrika from the Islamic Society of SA has told Nine it's concerning.
Imagine someone get hurt because of this. People, they will start thinking twice to go to any worship place from our community. Islamophobia has increased almost 10 times after the October 7.
A car went up in flames at Keswick last night. Fire crews were called to Eaton Road just after 9 after a Ford Fairmont was ablaze. Police believe the fire was deliberately lit. The Prime Minister's met with lawmakers on both sides of US politics in a bid to ease concerns about the AUKUS military pact. Anthony Albanese has announced plans to streamline Australia's export rules. The reforms would make it easier to share defence technology and sensitive information with the US. Mr Albanese says Congress is planning to pass similar laws, so it's important we can match their approach.
We want to make sure that the process is streamlined between Australia, the United States and the United Kingdom when it comes to the interoperability issues, when it comes to technology and information sharing.
He's also announced an extra $2 billion in financial support will be made available for the booming critical minerals sector to forge stronger trade ties with the US. The Reserve Bank's ruled out setting an employment target, as it does with inflation, to guide the adjustment of interest rates. In her first speech since becoming RBA governor last month, Michelle Bullock says it would be unwise to specify a fixed target for full employment.
For one thing, full employment can change over time as the structure of the economy evolves. And it's also not a concept that can be directly measured, and it can't be comprehensively summarised by a single statistic like the unemployment rate.
Ms Bullock says she won't hesitate to raise interest rates if it's needed to curb inflation. And the birthday celebrations for Vegemite continue to mark 100 years since the iconic Aussie spread became available. Vegemite's releasing mini silver replicas of Vegemite toast through their website from tomorrow. It follows the success of the Vegemite silver mini jars range. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors' new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors are here. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Inform opener Mitch Marsh says he'd be happy to slip down the order and bat at number 3 when Travis Head returns. Head has gone through one last test at training ahead of a decision on if he'll play. That's in tonight's World Cup clash against the Netherlands. Marsh says he'd be happy to go down the order.
Very happy to go back down to 3. I've obviously batted there a lot over the last couple of years, so I feel really comfortable at 3. And if and when Heady comes back in, I think that's the best position for me to play for this team.
Yeah, team player, a great bloke, isn't he? Mitch Marsh. Meantime, the Adelaide Strikers have enjoyed a 4-wicket win against the Melbourne Stars. That was in the WBBL yesterday. That result lifting them up to 2nd on the table. Let's go to some soccer now, and Manchester United are locked at 0-0 against Copenhagen heading into the second half. That's in their European Champions League qualifier this morning. Arsenal also locked at 0-0 late in the first half against SEVILLA. To baseball, and the Texas Rangers are on track for their first ever World Series championship following an 11-4 win against the Houston Astros in Game 7 of their series.
Grounded a second. 2 years removed from losing 100. The Rangers have won the pennant.
Audio thanks to ESPN. They'll play either the Arizona Diamondbacks or Philadelphia Phillies, who meet in Game 7 of their series a little later this morning. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Can't remember when you had your brakes checked? It's been too long. Call 1300 Automasters now.
A shower or two and 15 today, partly cloudy tomorrow 19, sunny on Friday 24 and partly cloudy Saturday 26. At the moment 11. More news as it happens on 5AA.
All right, Gold member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only 2 things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch.
What? Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
Australian cricket's not above sledging the Dutch.
No.
In a World Cup fixture. Don't worry. We've got it down to their level these days.
We've done worse than that in the past.
We absolutely have. 8223 is that number. You could text us on the Duttons text line as well. Duttons for Ford, Haval, Hyundai, Isuzu, Ute, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Ram, Subaru and Volkswagen. Duttons, easy to do business with.
Now, we have to record this as a matter of let the record show that you and I are being held up to ridicule on account of wearing accidentally matching black and white, white and
almost
black.
Inverted, aren't they?
Yeah, they are inverted black and white jumpers to deal with the cold weather. I suggested that we look like some sort of boy band. Quite a few of the listeners have taken that idea up and run with it. Rob on the Duttons text line says, if you were a boy band, Out of Sync would be your name, featuring DJ Rennie. What about Rennie before? We need a little camera underneath the desk. Call it knee cam. He's wearing shorts.
Rennie's showing a bit of leg.
He's wearing Adidas gym shorts, and up top looks like a Hugo Boss jacket. Quite the combination. And Mick on the text line says, Will and Dave, seeing you two at Eurovision singing Bill Withers, just the two of us, I'd pay to see that.
The two of us, we can make it if we try, just the two of us.
It'd be pretty sort of simple choreography, I reckon. I don't think it'd be too extravagant.
One of us would need to be standing up and swaying a bit from side to side.
I think you'd be the vocalist, and I'd be the sort of slapping the tambourine guy.
The other one would be sitting on a stool. That'd be the look.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we could workshop that.
You'd be the dancing guy. I'd be sitting on the stool guy singing.
I think that'd be great.
Crooning, sort of, with a bit of a William Shatner sort of, vibe about it. Be good.
I think that was just superb. Hey, the game show is back. All the networks are doing their upfronts at the moment, where they preview the shows that are coming out next year. We spoke yesterday about MasterChef with the judging panel change. Channel 10 especially going big into the game show. Wheel of Fortune is back. I hope they bring back the iconic music.
Oh, yeah.
Hosted by Graham Norton. Which is
Graham Norton?
The Graham Norton Show from the UK, which is something of a coup. Also, Deal or No Deal is back as well. Did you ever get massively into a game show? What's your favourite game show of all time?
Or have you ever been on a game show?
Have you ever been on a game show?
My grandma
Lots of people would have been on Wheel of Fortune at being shot here in Adelaide.
We had this massive, so exciting moment. Granny Fitz, God rest her soul, she went on The New Price is Right, and she won a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and when they went, Dorothy Fitzner, come on down! We're just going berserk.
What was the game she had to play?
Oh, one of those higher or lower type things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was good.
But it was with Terps, Ian Turpie.
Fantastic.
Ian Turpie, what a legend. Game shows. Yeah, game shows, you sort of get into them. I think just more because it was a vehicle for comedy, and it was still to this day, although I reckon if you tried to broadcast it now, you're getting all sorts of trouble. How good was Blankety Blanks?
Oh, with Ugly Dave Graham.
Yeah.
Graham Norton.
Graham Kennedy.
Graham Kennedy, sorry, yeah.
Nolene Brown. Stuart Wagstaff.
Well, the whole thing was a vehicle for sexual innuendo, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and some pretty politically incorrect gags. I mean, what about Peter the Phantom Puller?
Yeah.
Just for starters.
It was...
Cyril said, oh, Cyril!
Best game show of all time. Or double points if you've been on a game show. 8223 You can text us on the Duttons text line as well. You might be a collector of unique items and pretty excited about the latest thing to come out of Vegemite. As you've heard in FIVEAA News across the morning, today is the day that Vegemite turns 100, so 1923.
Wow.
5.6 million people lived in Australia in 1923. It was a much different country, but Vegemite started then and endures today. And to celebrate, they've been doing a series of different collectibles. They started with the silver replicas of the silver and gold jars. Now those jars sold out exceptionally quickly. In fact, in just under 4 hours, one of them got $6,350 on eBay at resale already.
6.5.
6.5 grand. So now they're releasing 1,000 fine silver replicas of Vegemite toast.
Vegemite toast?
Yeah, you can get the toasts from tomorrow through vegemite.com.au. Might be an investment strategy on the basis of how quickly the small jars went up in price.
That's extraordinary.
Make inflation work for you.
We'd be lost as a nation without Vegemite, wouldn't we? It's terrific. It's just the greatest thing ever.
Our true culinary contributions, not things we've borrowed and made. Like that is, in the absence of Vegemite.
Yeah, this is all ours.
This is the one that's all just ours.
Yeah. I mean, there's conjecture about, pavlovas being actually made by New Zealanders. Sort of like,
everything else is debated.
The crowded house of cuisine, really. Yeah, well, Russell Crowe.
We have first dibs
Our
on
Rusty.
all their good stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Dave in South Brighton's called in. What do you, Dave?
Yeah, morning, guys. Yeah, I was on a quiz show probably about 25 years ago. It was that short run on the ABC. I can't even remember the name of it. But I had to go up there to Collinswood one Saturday, and we recorded my episode, which I won. And so I went through the next round. But then I get a phone call that week to say, oh, there was a stuff-up with the taping. You're going to have to come in and do another episode again. And one of the subjects that came up was Don Bradman. Of course, I had this great cricket guru that knew every fact that Don Bradman never done in his life. So I didn't win my rerun episode. So, yeah, but I had to wear a suit and a tie and all sorts of stuff. I had to borrow one off my mate because I didn't own a tie.
Well, Dave, I don't want to suggest that. I mean, maybe you have our good friends at Duncan Bashir Hannon could help you here, but I think the national broadcaster's got a case to answer.
Yeah,
you were led to Collinswood. You went all the effort. Got a new suit, rocked up there, invested your time and money. You, through your own smarts, you rightly won the episode, and some klutz forgot to tape the damn thing.
Yeah, it taped wrongly or something, or not up to their standards.
You got nothing out of that experience, despite winning.
I still got a VHS video of it at home somewhere.
But did you get a prize?
Nah, nothing. It was ABC, mate. What are you going to get there?
Well,
not much.
Exactly. Not much for 8 today.
That's an outrage.
Yeah.
Who's the minister responsible for this kind of thing?
Oh, I know.
Who's running the ABC these days?
Ida Buttrose is on the board.
Well,
She's
Ida.
the chair.
Ida, when you get the printout of this conversation, please explain.
I know. If you think that Four Corners crew knocking around at this Woodside CEO's house is a PR problem, wait until we present you with a case of Dave from South Brighton.
Dave, we're going to give you a FIVEAA breakfast mug for telling your story. There you go.
Do what the national broadcaster never did.
We stuff things up all the time and give away prizes.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
Often the contestants stuff them up and still get prizes.
We just give away prizes.
We live to give.
As you've said many times in the past, we live to give. Getting on to game shows nominated as the best of all time on the Dutton's text line.
I like this one. Guys, do you remember that Adelaide game show, Crackerjack? The Crackerjack show? I do remember that. Because as the texter rightly says, it was school kids representing their school. One here, good morning, boys. When I was in primary school, I was lucky enough to be in a game show called Guess What, with the cartoonist from Hey Hey It's Saturday drawing pictures and us, the contestants, guessing what he was drawing. It was recording in the Channel 9 studios in North Adelaide. Cheers, Dan from Woodcroft. Joe says it was his favourite one was It's a Knockout. That was the one with the, climb Butter Mountain and all of that, wasn't it?
It's a knockout, that's the name. It's a knockout, that's the game. It's a knockout, that's the name of the game.
That was the peak of theme songs too. It's a knockout. The different coloured teams that you could cheer for. They do obstacle courses and so forth.
Yeah, like you end up on a sort of balancing beam and you've got giant sort of foam clubs and you've got to knock each other into the pool.
Yeah, they did a glammed up version called Gladiators afterwards, but It's a Knockout was more sort of, fewer roids.
Yeah.
Now, Belinda and Trot Parker's called in. Morning, Belinda.
Hi, how you going?
Good, thanks, Belinda.
Yes, probably about 30 years ago, I went on Wheel of Fortune. I was
Oh, wow.
it was filmed here in Adelaide, just at Gilbert and there, and my friends laughed at me when I said I was going on it. I was like 20, so generally 20-year-olds didn't really watch it, but I always just got the puzzles quite easily. And so I thought nothing to lose, went on there. I ended up being the carryover champ for 5 days.
Oh, you're joking. Wow.
Yeah, it was great. It was a really fun experience with
So was
Adriana
it with I wanted to ask Adriana, and was it baby John Burgess?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, she was adorable. I really liked her. John was sick, and so he was a bit of a sook, to be honest.
Oh no!
But
he had the flu or something?
He had a cold, and he it just took over the theme of the shows. But anyway, I ended up.
So well to tease it out a bit more, Belinda. So, Baby John, was he all smiles when the cameras were rolling, and then when they turned off, he's like, ugh.
Oh yeah. He put it on for the cameras, absolutely.
Oh, what a professional!
Yeah. But what you saw from Adriana was her on and off the screen.
Everyone always said she was lovely. Did they film the 5 episodes back to back, Belinda, or did you have to keep coming back?
Yeah. Well, they do 5 episodes a day, so I went in on a Friday afternoon, and I think I come in on like episode 4. So I did 2 episodes then, and then I came back on the Saturday morning the next day and filmed the next 3.
What prizes did you win?
Well, I won $17,000 worth of prizes, which back in 1990-ish was pretty decent. And, yeah, just to give you some insights, I don't know if you know much about kind of how it used to work, but they used to show all these amazing prizes that you can win. But you actually were looking at a blackboard, and it had 10 prizes up for grabs. So, I was 20, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll have the Queensland holiday, please, not knowing where I was going. You get briefed on a piece of paper of your first show, but if you win, you have no idea what the prizes are after that. So I went, yeah, I'll take the Queensland holiday, please. It was to Caloundra. Awesome, fantastic. But here's the kicker. It was by bus, and I didn't know that.
Oh, from Adelaide by bus.
Catch a bus to Caloundra from Adelaide.
Yeah, it was by bus, thanks to Greyhound. So, yeah, we ended up, I think it took us like nearly a couple of days to get back, but, that's fine. That's a 90s for you.
That's not a holiday, that's a form of punishment.
It was an adventure at that age. But I did win a couple of the major prizes. I won, I was just about to move out of home, so I really picked products that would like help me set myself up, and I ended up winning a $5,000 Hoover white goods package, which had like a washing machine, tumble dryer, fridge, freezer, all that kind of jazz. Yeah, and I also won a set of Tommy and Moore golf clubs, apparently worth $5,000, but they weren't. I didn't play golf, so yeah, I sold them. But it was an amazing experience, and it was like Christmas every day because I'd come home from work and there'd be presents at the door for ages. So yeah,
what a great story.
Yeah,
it would be a nice surprise when you finally got back from Caloundra too, to find all these things in the veranda. You've been to Caloundra?
Yeah, I have been to Caloundra. Belinda, that is a great story.
Brilliant.
Well told. Thank you. Appreciate it. Great game shows. Let us know your nomination. And if you've been on one, we'd love to hear your story as well. 11 to 7.
This could be your next career tragectory, Will, because often people...
Game show host.
Yeah. I reckon that'd be good.
Do you reckon I could play them the audio of us giving away the pageant tickets the other day as my audition tape?
As your sizzle reel.
Yeah, I think that'd be really impressive. I might just never work again. Now, let's check traffic. Keys are tired of back pain. Time to try Keys at kieser.com.au.
Thanks, Will, and good morning. At Edwardstown, got a few delays with night works running behind schedule at the moment. It's at the intersection of South Road and Dawes Road, so seeing some pretty solid delays if you're heading into the city that way. West Watermain at Hallett Cove, Lonsdale Road near Majors Road, she's down a one lane there, and lights on the blink at West Lakes Boulevard near Military Road. Cameras this morning, Alexandrina Road in Barker and Arthur Street at Tranmere. Click Frenzy is on at 40 Winks with 50% off mattresses and 30% off furniture till Sunday. Exclusions and T&C supply. Go to better sleep at 40 Winks. Serious about sleep. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
I'm Ned, and I'm a geek. I'm no good at voiceovers, but amazing at fixing your tech problems. All Geeks to You techies work on any device and give great advice. For in-person or remote tech support, go to geeks2u.com.au. That's the number 2, the letter U.
Live cheaper with Cheapest Chips. Catalogue sale now on.
Cheapest Chips.
Get a huge 30% off all Halloween costumes and decorations. And don't miss out on Black Dot clearance products like the Prinetti Pod coffee machine, only $59, save $40. Airless paint sprayer, $249, save $100. And the American charcoal smoker, $149, save $50. Earn points and get rewarded with Chippy Rewards. Check out the new catalogue out now. Live cheaper with Cheapest Chips. In-store or online.
David, we are massive fans of Puritab.
Oh, don't get me started. They're a great local company. They're part of the 5AA family and have had my own Puritap for years. And look, they're terrific. They make water more beautiful, clean, fresh and healthy drinking water.
They make Adelaide water more beautiful, and they make the prices pretty beautiful too. How good is this? A Puritap from only $49 up front. That is incredible value.
Certainly is. A Puritap from only $49. It includes the designer tap, installation and filters for 2 years on a great payment plan.
Designed, manufactured right here in Adelaide.
It's a world-class product and one that we're proud to be associated with.
Call Puritap on 133502 or go to puritap.com.au. Some T's and C's apply.
You might think having thousands of POWs is excessive, but that's not what the team at Parafield Airport Liquor Store think, because that's how many they have. Sure, they might be made up of over 200 gins, 300 craft beers, 500 whiskies from around the world, and over 2,000 wines. But they're some of the best POWs you can have, and they're always looking for more. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. POWs, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
8 to 7, cool day on the way, but what about the rest of the week? Simon Timke from the Weather Bureau joins us. Simon, good morning.
Good morning, Will. Morning, David.
What have we got ahead?
Yeah, look, a pretty cool day on the way today. We're expecting a maximum of 15 degrees. Currently in the city, it's 11.3 degrees, so the temperature's not going to go up too much from here. A couple of showers about the place as well. Looking at the radar at the moment, nothing over the Adelaide area right now, but there's a couple of showers just to the north, pushing across to Wells, Malala sort of area. Also a few showers down over the Fleurieu Peninsula. So 1 or 2 showers. Pretty cool day. Temperatures around the suburbs, 15 degrees as well for Noarlunga and Glenelg, 13 for Mount Barker, 16 degrees for Elizabeth. Showers should clear away later today, I think, and Thursday should be fine. Partly cloudy though, 19 degrees, so a little bit warmer than today. And then if you're after a bit of sunshine, I think Friday's probably your day, a sunny day, 24 degrees. Temperatures similar over the weekend, but a bit of cloud around at times, 26 and partly cloudy for Saturday, a bit of cloud around 25 for Sunday. And then early next week, a couple of showers about. I think Monday we'll see a shower or two, 22 degrees. Still just a slight chance of a shower left over for Tuesday, 19 degrees.
Beautiful stuff. Sounding good for Budgie Fest on Saturday too.
Perfect
26,
weather.
no rain. Perfect budgie weather.
Thank you, Simon. Let's head to SAPOL. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad's on the line. Kimberly, a man suffered serious injuries at Christie's Beach.
Yeah, it was just after 10:30 last night. We had police and paramedics called to a service station on Dyson Road after a man presented with a serious wound to his neck. Now, police provided some first aid along with staff members to the 43-year-old Morfett Vale man just before ambulance officers rushed him to the Flinders Medical Centre for treatment. But he is currently in a stable condition in hospital. So we've got Southern District CIB detectives investigating the matter, and we had forensic response crime scene officers also attend at the service station last night to investigate the incident. But police are investigating how the man actually sustained these injuries as well as where it may have occurred. So we're just asking anyone with any information on the incident if they could give us a call on the Crime Stoppers number 1800 333 000.
Also, Kimberly, what's the story with this motorbike rider that you've arrested and impounded his bike?
So we were called to Monarto South. It was about 11:15 last night. We had reports from members of the public about vehicles hooning around the area. Now, as we were on the way to that job, we've actually spotted this motorcyclist speeding along Brinkley Road. It was heading towards Murray Bridge. So we've indicated for the rider to pull over. However, he's refused and failed to stop and sped off. So we searched the area and actually located the motorcycle parked at the front of a home at White Hill. Checks revealed that the alleged rider, who's a 39-year-old man, he was disqualified from driving. His motorcycle is also unregistered and uninsured. So he's been arrested for those traffic offences as well as failing to stop. His motorcycle is impounded for 28 days and he's bailed to appear in the Murray Bridge Magistrates Court in December.
Thank you for that, Kimberly. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad from SAPOL. Do we have any Silver Salties listening this morning? Silver Salties was a program pioneered by the Seacliff Surf Lifesaving Club back in late 2019, designed to have a beach swimming club for people over the age of 65. It's grown from humble beginnings, 12 to start. Now, more than 80 are involved, and there are similar clubs that have sprung up around the nation. But it was a Seacliff Surf Lifesaving Club that started it. President Jacinta Day joins us on 5AA Breakfast. Jacinta, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good, thanks, Jacinta. Now, don't tell me you actually go swimming on days like today, do you?
No. So the Silver Salties program is about getting people to participate, do some more 65 plus people to participate, do more exercise, socialise. They do love getting in the water, and the water temperature has certainly warmed up. But they do choose the days when they want to get in.
Oh, that's
sure.
good. Sounds more like our
smart.
cup of tea. So it's not one of these heroic sort of, iceberg type deals. This is more about older people getting active and getting out and about and having a splash.
Absolutely, and some of them go for a walk, some of them do a swim, some of them do chair-based exercises. They're a very social group, and we're really lucky to have a group who also help with cleaning up our club and doing a few of those little maintenance things around the club every week, which is fantastic.
Well, told you just partnered up with Dulux and did a bit of a big tidy up ahead of the summer season. It's nice to hear that because it sounds like the social side of it is as big a part, if not a bigger part, than the physical exercise part of it.
You're absolutely right there. We're lucky. Dulux have been a sponsor for Surf Lifesaving Australia for more than a decade, actually, and they've supported us by providing the paint. So we could engage a painter to give our outside of the external walls of our club a bit of a refreshen up and a paint. And our Silver Salties have been helping out just by cleaning up. But it's definitely a very social group for sure.
I imagine most of them come from people who are families or had an association with the Seacliff Surf Lifesaving Club over the years. Do you have many that came from outside that just heard about the initiative and thought, I've never been part of one of these clubs, but I'd like to get involved in this?
Absolutely. We did have a small core group, and some of the grandparents and parents of our members are definitely involved, but we've had a really big uptake from people who, their word of mouth, the networks that the Silver Salties have, and a lot of people who haven't been a part of Surf Lifesaving before have joined our club, and that's really amazing because it gives them something to become part of the community, and that's what we're all about.
It's a terrific enterprise.
Great
Jacinta.
idea.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Jacinta Day there, the president of the wonderful Seacliff Surf Lifesaving Club, about the Silver Salties. Good stuff.
It's a good club.
I love Seacliff. It's so pretty because you got that little rising hill down the southern end.
It's awesome.
You get a lot of stingrays there in the shallows.
Do you?
On the bend where there's rocks.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice part.
But they're nice. They're not scary. They just sit there doing stingray stuff.
5AA News is coming up. We've got a wrap of the big stories, both in Adelaide and around the world, in just a moment. Stick around.
For over 60 years, our community has placed their trust in Burnside Hospital for exceptional, compassionate and personalised care. Our comfortable facilities and serene gardens create an atmosphere that lets patients feel more at home. We're a not-for-profit community hospital and partner with leading visiting medical officers, providing a variety of surgical specialties, from orthopaedics to urology, breast and endocrine, maxillofacial, oncology and maternity. Burnside Hospital, your destination for exceptional care always.
Want to support South Australian traders and farmers? Shop at the Adelaide Central Market. Coming up this Friday and Saturday is our Seafood and Sounds event, a celebration of world-class SA seafood. There'll be cooking demos by top chefs, pop-up Coffin Bay Oyster and Wine Bar, and traders will dish up their best seafood specials. Plus, there'll be free kids activities Saturday morning and live music throughout the event. Seafood and Sounds, this Friday and Saturday. Visit AdelaideCentralMarket.com for the full program.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
A shower or two and 15 with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Chipped windscreen? Complete Windscreens can repair it from just $99. Look for the big red koala.
An Israeli hostage held captive by Hamas for more than 2 weeks has described the unimaginable hell of her ordeal. The 85-year-old woman's been released by the militant group along with a second elderly woman. Her daughter Sharon says it's a relief.
This is wonderful, but our heart is with the over 200 hostages still there. We are heartened to hear that they are well looked after. We do not know that that is everyone because there's many that my mum did not meet.
While extra security could be deployed at local mosques amid the conflict. More from Melasha.
Islamic leaders are concerned by so-called hate crimes in SA in the wake of the Middle East conflict. 2 mosques in the metro area at Woodville North and Parkholme have been targeted by arsonists in the past week. There are fears worshippers will stay away if it continues. There has been a 10-fold increase in Islamophobia in Australia since October 7. Foreign Affairs Minister Penny Wong taking to social media to condemn the attacks, urging people to stand together against discrimination, hate speech and prejudice. Islamic leaders in SA will meet with police today to discuss extra security.
A man's in hospital after suffering a serious wound to his neck at Christie's Beach last night. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says he was found at a service station on Dyson Road.
He is currently in a stable condition in hospital, but police are investigating how the man actually sustained these injuries as well as where it may have occurred.
A car was torched at Keswick last night. Fire crews were called to Eaton Road just after 9 after reports a Ford Fairmont was alight. Fire crews extinguished the blaze, which caused extensive damage to the vehicle. Police believe it was deliberately lit. The new Reserve Bank governor says the bank won't hesitate to hike interest rates if inflation continues to rise. The official cash rate has been sitting at 4.1% since July. Speaking at a global markets conference, Michelle Bullock says the board will be analysing quarterly inflation data and employment figures before the next rate decision.
Our focus does remain on bringing inflation back to target within a reasonable time frame while keeping employment growing. It's possible that this can be done with the cash rate at its current level, but there are risks that could see inflation return to target more slowly than currently forecast.
Melbourne coach Simon Goodwin has saved a man's life in Bali. He was surfing with friends on the island of Nusa Cenagan when a young man jumped off the cliff into the water, dislocating his shoulder. Goodwin heard his screams and rushed over and lifted him onto his surfboard and took him to safety. And here's some news no one wants to hear. Chocolate's about to get more expensive thanks to soaring prices of cocoa and sugar. Cocoa prices have surged to their highest level in more than 40 years due to global demand and poor crops in West Africa caused by bad weather. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Let's start with cricket. South Aussie Travis Head is a big chance to return to the Aussie side when it takes on the Netherlands tonight in a World Cup clash. There was one game last night with South Africa belting Bangladesh by 149 runs. Hawthorn could have to pay a financial settlement of up to $1 million to former coach Alistair Clarkson over the handling of its racism review. Christina Hearn reports.
The AFL is winding up its investigation into Hawthorn's handling of its racism review, which looked into serious allegations made by First Nations players and their families at the club between 2008 and 2016. According to The Age, the club could be instructed to pay compensation to those affected, including Alistair Clarkson and Chris Fagan, while issuing public apologies. In May this year, the AFL cleared the former Hawks coaches of any wrongdoing. Former Hawthorn president Jeff Kennett does not believe the club should have to pay any compensation, saying it's not their fault.
Let's go to soccer. Sam Kerr has joined her Matildas teammates in Perth for Australia's upcoming Olympic qualifiers. They face Iran tomorrow night. Meantime, Arsenal is now 2-1 up against Sevilla in its Champions League clash this morning. The Gunners' opening goal coming deep in the first half.
Now the chance to counter perhaps. Here's Gabriel Martinelli right at the end of the first half. Martinelli for Arsenal, who have the lead right on the stroke of half-time.
Audio there thanks to Stan Sport. Manchester United, meantime, is still locked at 0-0 against Copenhagen. About 15 minutes to play in those two matches. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
Reimagine your home, elevate your life at 88 O'Connell Street Luxury Apartments. See 88o'connell.com.
G'day there at Oaklands Park, car into a tree on Morford Road near the Warradale Hotel. In the city, roads closed due to the World Solar Challenges around Victoria Square affecting Grove Street and Wakefield Street. And Edward Town got night works running a bit behind schedule this morning. It's at the intersection of South Road and Dawes Road. Got a few delays heading into the city. Cameras, Glen Osmond Road, Glenunga and Gwyn Streets at Firle. The sound of you enjoying a delicious barista-made coffee from OTR. Pop in to get your pick-me-up now at OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Can't remember when you had your brakes checked? It's been too long. Call 1300 Automasters now.
A shower or two and 15 today, partly cloudy tomorrow 19, sunny on Friday 24 and partly cloudy Saturday 26. At the moment 11. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Come up this evening. Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
7 after 7. Sean Fuster coming up this hour as we go round the courts. Also, got a Smeg appliance to give away. The rumour file will be open. Take those right through till 9 o'clock. David Koch will join us after 8. I'm looking forward to chatting with Silvio Giannoni, the uncle of Seb Stone, who crashed on a scooter in Vietnam, and now hundreds of thousands of dollars need to be raised to bring him home seriously injured. Not broken bones either, brain injury. He's recovering well, which is the good news, but still, the manner in which he needs to be brought back requires an air ambulance, a plane, effectively, that's designed to be able to bring him and keep him in a stable condition. That's not cheap. Blokes. So we will talk to Silvio a little bit later in the program about the efforts to raise as much money as possible to bring Seb home. Let's start the news wrap of 7 o'clock with something that happened right here on the program an hour ago.
Well, we haven't got any water up here at the moment.
In the cove, really?
Yeah, there's a message on the SA Water website saying that some customers in Hallett Cove will be experiencing temporary disruption to their tap water, and that's exactly right. We haven't got any water.
So what, you turn the tap and literally nothing comes out?
Just a dribble of water.
People in Hallett Cove this morning might wake up to find that they can't have the morning shower or a glass of water even because the water has been turned off. We've spoken to SA Water about this. They're aiming to fix the issue by late afternoon, early evening. That's pushed out a little bit. Drinking water is being provided, however, and it can be collected from now. So it started at 7 a.m. from the Lions Club at Hallett Cove or the Cove Sport and Community Club. So you can go get presumably bottled water or bladders of water to make up for the fact you don't have any running water to your house. There seems to have been a leak somewhere in the system, so they've shut down water to... It doesn't sound like it's all of Hallett Cove, but it's a significant part of Hallett Cove this morning.
Total pain for the people affected.
Waking up without water. If it's broader than that and it's affecting you, call us now. 8223 0000 is the number. Indeed, if you know where they're doing the works more specifically on the leak on a main, do give us some more intel. You can text us as well on the Duttons text line. The acting Prime Minister, of course, with the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese in the US at the moment, is Richard Marles. He has spoken this morning already about the deployment of some ADF resources to the Middle East.
Well, we've sent an additional 2 aircraft to the Middle East, which takes the total to 3. And the support crew for them, which is a significant number of personnel, and there's a small command detachment which goes with all of that. We're not saying where in the Middle East for operational reasons, but we are putting that in place really as a contingency to support Australian populations in the Middle East, bearing in mind that this is a very volatile situation, and we just don't absolutely know which way it goes from here as the world really holds its breath watching it.
Saying we won't say where in the Middle East actually says a fair bit, because what he's not saying is it's going to Israel.
Yeah, that's right.
So it probably could be providing reconnaissance to defend US bases in the area, provide support in the event that there is a broader conflict, which seems to be everyone's concern at the moment. There seems to be 2 reasons why the ground invasion to Gaza has been held up. One is to try and get as many hostages out as possible. We've seen 2 emerge yesterday. Remarkable story. One of the women who we'll talk about in a second. But the other is the US is desperately trying to, behind the scenes, through the diplomatic back channels, make sure this doesn't spill into a massive war in that part of the world.
And you get the sense too that this is one of the key reasons why, as much as Israel will be champing at the bit to just go in there and just blast as many of these Hamas fighters out as they can, that quite rightly, a lot of countries that are having a more considered response are saying, well, look, you know, the more civilians, the more innocent Palestinians who get killed or injured as a result of that type of attack, you know, there's in order of importance. Firstly, there's a moral argument against that, but secondly, there's a strategic argument against that, because any Palestinian death only emboldens the critics of Israel, a lot of whom are, you know, not going to be swayed by anything. But in terms of the response of countries in the region, you know, the more that happens, the more likely it is that other countries will go, stuff this, we're going to get involved now.
An 85-year-old grandmother was one of two people released after 2 weeks in captivity. Yocheved Lifshitz and her husband were kidnapped by Hamas gunmen on motorbikes and taken to what she described as a spider's web of tunnels underneath Gaza. She says she was beaten up a bit in the journey, but they were treated fairly well once they got there.
Well, this is wonderful, but our heart is with the over 200 hostages still there. We are heartened to hear that they're well looked after. We do not know that is everyone, because there's many that my mum did not meet.
I'm not sure why this woman necessarily was released. Her husband hasn't been yet. Could have been her age, could have been her work. She was a peace activist that had, in times of trouble previously, taken injured Palestinians out of Gaza to Israeli hospitals. She had lots of relationships with people in Gaza, spoke the language fluently, as does her husband. That's a suspicion that maybe that's why she was among those released, but just a trickle of people too of what is a far more significant number. Back here in Adelaide, there was a Adelaide City Council meeting last night where the Lord Mayor, Jane Lomax-Smith, was challenged to explain her unilateral decision, as we now understand it, to fly the Indigenous flag at half-mast.
I know there's been substantial public commentary surrounding the decision to lower the Council's Australian Aboriginal flag to half-mast. The proposition to lower the flag reflected both the Council's decision to support the yes vote to the referendum and also to install a plaque with the Uluru Statement in the Town Hall. This was actually followed by a vote in our area with polling booths showing 65% approximately for yes in the square mile and 55% approximately for yes in North Adelaide. As Council's principal spokesperson, I'm of the view that it was appropriate for Council to express empathy for those affected by the result of the referendum, especially in light of our very public support for the proposition of reform and yes. My intention was entirely expressing empathy in this view. Our relationship with our First Nations people doesn't end with the referendum, and a public expression of empathy is little more than expressing that support.
So her position seems to be that, look, whatever the argy-bargy about the process, this was just a nice gesture. Can we all move on? But one thing, and this was a preemptive tactic, because later in the meeting, my understanding is that the Lord Mayor was directly challenged about this by Councillor Henry Davis, who we did the Breaking at 8 about a couple of days ago, because he's still pursuing this, saying that she breached the Local Government Act because it should have been a council decision, not an individual mayoral decision. So the Lord Mayor has spoken to the council's CEO about it, and they're going to have a review of the processes. But one council source said to me this morning, well, it's a little bit cute because it's sort of like a retrospective review of something which was demonstrably wrong. You know, it looks like a tactic to get her off the hook. But, you know, one other side issue, and I was going to do this as Breaking at 8, but I might as well do it now. Jeff Brock, the local government minister, has announced overnight that they're going to do a review of how local government elections are conducted in South Australia. And one thing that they're flagging as a result of what the state government has rightly identified as not just consistently low voter turnout, where most voters go, look, none of these people speak for me. A lot of people think that this tier of government shouldn't even exist. You know, we're massively over-governed as it is. So you've got low voter turnout, but in addition to that, there's been all of these council by-elections and vacancies where they can't even get candidates to run. So the entire the level of public support for this tier of government is negligible, and this is where the conceit of what the Lord Mayor did, talking there about she thought and the council thought that their reading of voter sentiment on the referendum was 55 in North Adelaide, 65 in the square mile, all of that. Let's just remember, in terms of direct votes, Jane Lomax-Smith got just over 3,000 votes. So there's 3,000 people in a state of 2 million people who voted for her. And all of this comes off the back of someone who could she could get all of the people who voted for her to stand down here in the forecourt in Hindmarsh Square and they could have a morning tea party together.
It looked like a fire drill.
It would look like the building had been evacuated. So, talk about wielding an extraordinary level of influence on the back of bugger all.
Yeah.
And that's why local government as it stands is a farce. And I'll tell you what, if you want to put in a submission to Jeff Brock, what do we think, folks? 8223 0000. Should you be fined for not voting in council elections? Because one of the things that Jeff Brock has flagged is that maybe a way to get us plebs to participate is to fine us for not voting. I reckon that's an outrage. I mean, the idea of, you look at some of the jumped up NIMBY idiots who run, we've had elections in my neck of the woods, I wouldn't vote for any of them. You got 4 different Green candidates, sort of people who don't care about Israelis being massacred, but they're really worried about medium density housing.
It feels like
I'm not voting for any of them
and seeing the least obvious solution, doesn't it? To say no one engages with, cares about, or respects this tier of government, so let's force them to engage with it, as opposed to maybe we don't need it.
Yeah, or maybe there's a problem with the way it conducts itself.
Congratulations this morning to Yangara Estate Vineyard in Kangarilla. SA's top winner in the annual Halliday Wine Companion competition, came in second in the list of the top wineries in Australia. Grosset was the second in South Australia. That came in at the number 6 spot on the long list. Number 1 was a Victorian winery, the Oak Ridge from Yarra Valley.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Doesn't sound very good.
No.
Now, Yangara, their Grenache is unbelievable. And Grosset, if you really want to impress someone, if you're going to a flash dinner or something, you've got a bit of spare dough lying around, get a bottle of Grosset Riesling. Because people who know Riesling go, ooh, that's a Grosset. It's a superb Clare Valley white.
Quickly before the break, can I tell you my favourite stupid story in the world this morning?
Yes.
Probably about 5 billion people around the world do. Called Stacey. Stacey are performing in Dallas as part of their...
Stacey?
Yeah, as in S-T-A-Y-C. It's the first initial of the band members.
I thought you meant Stacey from Richmond.
It could well be. She's very talented. They're in Dallas as part of the US tour. Travelling musical acts will try and sort of, ingratiate themselves with the locals. Shouting out stuff. We love you. We're in Dallas and so forth. Sometimes they try and support the local sporting team. Well, Stacey rolled out at their gig in Dallas, thinking they were supporting the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers, the local baseball side. They had the tops. They had Rangers tops on. The problem was they were Glasgow Rangers tops. They were Glasgow Rangers tops from the 90s, actually. They were the top they wore when they won the Scottish Cup, famously in the 90s, a very famous Rangers side. So a Korean band turned up in Dallas in the United States, and to win favour with their local fans, they wore a Scottish soccer top.
Well, I suppose that any Scottish Texans there would have liked it.
The Rangers fans on social media are absolutely loving it. They say they're the football club of choice for the K-pop movement. That is the story of globalisation right there, isn't it? 20 minutes after 7. We're going to check traffic and come back with sport in just a moment. Keezer, are you tired of back pain? Time to try Keezer, KIESER.com.au.
At Oaklands Park, Carrier Tree this morning. It's on Morford Road near the Warrior Hotel. In the city, roads closed to the World Solar Challenge around Victoria Square between Great Street and Wakefield Streets. Traffic lights on the blink at West Lakes today, West Lakes Boulevard near Military Road, and a burst water main slowing things up at Hallett Cove, just at the top of the hill, Lonsdale Road near Majors Road there. Got a camera to Balmoral Road at Dernacourt. At Bob Jane T-Mart, to get up to $300 cash back on select Pirelli tyres when you buy 4, ends October 31st. Details at Bob Jane T-Mart. advertisements.com.au. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
Soon, back on the shelf and probably in your fridge will be Hall's Drinks. Iconic brand coming back thanks to Cameron Ballard, the director of Ballard's Brands.
My intention is to essentially dump in a time machine and grab the product.
Weekday mornings from 9.
It's in a glass bottle, the same look that everybody loves and the same taste.
On 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, the Lynn Andrews team have made it easy for landlords to manage residential and commercial property. From single homes to multiple commercial holdings, our passion for property investment means we have a great deal of knowledge. How to do it safely and properly, matching the right tenant with the right property every time. We're here to help you. Visit lynandrews.com.au.
Dreaming of a new car? Make it happen at Solitaire Volkswagen. As South Australia's largest Volkswagen dealership, we have plenty of stock available now for immediate delivery with unbeatable deals on new and demonstrator vehicles. Now is the time to visit Solitaire Volkswagen at Hawthorn and Medindi, DL 65541.
Some of the most amazing inventions and businesses were conceived in a shed like the Disney Brothers cartoon studio, creating the Alice comedies, which later inspired Disney's version of Alice in Wonderland.
And if the Wright brothers didn't have a shed, they may have never invented the world's first aeroplane.
So imagine what they could have done if they had an Olympic Industries shed. Speaking of which, the Olympic Industries sale is in its final days. Your last chance to save on Olympic Industries sheds, carports and verandas.
Great things happen in sheds, and even greater things can happen in an Olympic industry shed. Hurry, though, because the sale is in its final days.
Jump online at olympicindustries.com.au and request a quote, or call into Olympic Industries, Para Hills West, Clarence Gardens, Paraka and Ranella. Olympic Industries, built to last.
Over 60,000 Adelaide homes have said yes to saving money on their energy bills with Yes, Your Energy Saving Solutions. What's keeping you? Your Energy Saving Solutions can connect you with the SA government initiative called REPS. To save money on heating this winter, Yes is offering eligible households a 2.6 kilowatt Rinnai system for only $699. For T's and C's on this unbeatable offer from Your Energy Saving Solutions, go to yes.net.au. That's yes.net.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
24 minutes after 7. Lots of Dutton's texts coming in. Dutton's for Ford, Haval, Hyundai, Isuzu, Ute, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Ram, Subaru and Volkswagen. Dutton's, easy to do business with. Let's get to some of those texts.
Sorry, I was just responding to a text from a person who's actually an excellent member of a local council who was agreeing to a very large degree with a lot of what I just said. One here saying simply disband all councils and appoint an administrator. Mark, I think a lot of people say, oh, let's get rid of local government. I actually reckon that there's something that needs to be teased out here, which is the staff at councils are overwhelmingly excellent. It's the elected officials who seem to be the problem. And the classic example
no one's
of that...
saying get rid of the staff.
No, because a lot of the services that they provide...
Just so bring them under the purview of the minister or into a government department. Like health.
Well, look at the classic example earlier this year was the Aboriginal Football Carnival for all the school kids. The Adelaide City Council staff had been working, tirelessly and diligently to make that happen. And then it was the half-wit councillors, the Green Left faction, who came in at the end and went, well, why are we giving money to this evil corporation? That's what stuffed it up. It wasn't the staff. So, keep the staff.
They're separate. Well,
get rid of the
all the responsibilities that they do still exist. No one's pretending they don't do anything. The problem are the officials, the elected representatives.
Yeah,
that turn it into their own little political plaything. The sort of ideological playground.
Yeah.
Wendy and Gawler's called in. Morning, Wendy.
Good morning, fellows. How are you?
We're good, thank you, Wendy.
Now, what is it you wanted to talk to me about?
Well, we think
you thought you called
you
in,
rang
Wendy.
us, didn't you, Wendy? We were.
No, I didn't, David. I sent a text to which I've had a reply.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, Wendy.
What did you text us about?
Some sort of confusion. I'm terribly
Oh,
sorry.
no, well, I was just speaking about, briefly in my text, about the conceit of some people over this business of, should we fly the flag or shouldn't we? One of the things that really concerns me about the Aboriginal flag, I don't mind if they have it for a particular celebration, but I do not want us to be a two-flag country, which we have become, which signals apartheid to my mind. I'm in my 80s and I can well remember all of the kerfuffle that went on, as I'm sure you have through history, with what happened in South Africa, and it was a two-flag country. We shouldn't be doing this here. It's really against what people feel. And this goes right back to, Anthony Albanese promoting, the yes vote so much and seeming to ignore everybody else's opinions about what's happening in the rest of the country, where it's dire times for some people without a roof over their head and lots of other things going on. I've never known us to be in such a mess as we now are.
Thank you for your call, Wendy.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Wendy.
that. Let's go to Mark. Good morning to you, Mark.
Hey, my brothers, what's going on?
Good, mate.
Hey, Mark, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Having such a left-wing person like myself, that's an interesting call beforehand. But let's talk about game shows.
Yeah, hit us with your game show thoughts.
Mate, we're a broad church here at the FIVEAA Breakfast Show.
We are a broad church. Just quickly, real quick, happy NBA Day, Will. It's a great day of the year.
Good luck to you ladies today against the defending champs.
Yes. Yeah, we'll be all right, carrying the weight of the team on the 39-year-old shoulders. It should be fine. Anyway, could you imagine Price is Right today? Could you just imagine, like if they did the show, we have to pick what the price of stuff is? Like, we have a TV and we have a kilo of lighting. What's more expensive? the kilo of lighting.
Or maybe a TV and a watermelon, mate.
Yeah, well, we've got a car or a night out with a family. Which one's more expensive? A night out with a family. It's just my thought.
Mark, you should host the new Australian Price is Right, the inflation edition, where who goes what the hell everything costs. It's just more than you think.
Well, now that Philip Lowe's no longer Reserve Bank Governor, maybe he could be part of the panel too.
Mark's get the FIVEAA breakfast mug. I'm not sure if he's got one or not, but that was a fantastic call. Thank you for that, Mark.
Hey, what about this too? Belinda from Trott Park rang earlier about how she was basically duped by the good people at Wheel of Fortune, or Wheel as it's known by the cognoscenti. She got told she was winning this great trip to Queensland. Turned out she had to get the bus to Caloundra on her own. What about this? Tiffany in Fitzroy has texted in going, LOL, I was also a carryover champ on Wheel in 1991 and I won the bus trip to Caloundra. I ended up buying a flight home on Compass Airlines to avoid the dreaded return bus trip. Sending people by bus to Caloundra.
That's excellent.
That's just terrible.
Make sure you tune into the sports show tonight. $17 Schnitty Monday to Wednesday at the Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and Lighthouse Wharf. You just know it's a Barreau hotel. If you're interested in what Tecampo's thoughts are on the Adelaide Crows draft hand, you can tune into their podcast of the show last night. He had some expansive thoughts, including a potential target. So if you want some more meat on that, make sure you tune into their excellent podcast. You can hear all the terrific interviews that Rowie and Timmy G do, like they will be doing tonight. FIVEAA News is coming up. Sean Fuster's next.
For over 100 years, Alfred James Funeral Homes has been here for families in their time of need. Alfred James Funeral Homes is built on a legacy of compassion, honour and service. We are always here, yesterday, today and tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, Alfred James has something new coming, a way to honour a life in the most extraordinary way, one that is truly out of this world. Alfred James Funeral Homes, honouring a life.
Who can fix the shower?
Service today.
Who can fix the power?
Service today.
With thousands of positive reviews, it's no wonder that Service Today is the most recognised and respected home service company rated by Australians. Our licensed technicians can help with all your plumbing, electrical, heating, cooling and home security needs. So when you need reliable home services, at Service Today, the answer will always be, yes we can.
Yes we can, is what we say. Service Today.
Google Service Today to book one of our experts.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
A shower or two and 15 with the 7:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Complete windscreen supply and fit, front, rear and door glass. Proudly South Australian since 1976.
An Israeli hostage held for more than 2 weeks has described the unimaginable hell of her kidnapping at the hands of Hamas militants. More from Alison Petrowski in Tel Aviv.
Yocheved Lifshitz says she went through hell, thrown on the back of a motorbike by Hamas militants, being beaten and then forced to walk for several kilometres through the spiderweb of underground tunnels. According to Hamas, the 85-year-old was released on humanitarian grounds, but doctors in the Tel Aviv hospital where she is recovering say she's in good health. Today, the Israeli military airdropped flyers in Gaza asking Palestinians to provide information on the hostages. 200 people have been held captive since Hamas militants attacked Israel on October 7. Israeli officials say that once their military launches a ground invasion, a deal for hostages will be nearly impossible.
While Islamic leaders in SA will meet with police today to discuss extra security, they're concerned by so-called hate crimes in the wake of the Middle East conflict. Mosques in Woodville North and Parkholme have been targeted by arsonists in the past week. The Prime Minister's hoping to boost support for the AUKUS alliance in the US, announcing changes to the way we share military technology with our allies. More from Zach De Silva in Washington.
A handful of US politicians argue the AUKUS deal may not be in their country's best interests. To win them over, the Prime Minister's going on a diplomatic blitz, sitting down with lawmakers here in Washington. In a bid to ease their concerns, Anthony Albanese has announced a planned overhaul of Australia's export controls. The changes would make it easier to share sensitive information and defence technology with the US. The issue's likely to be a major discussion point when the PM holds formal talks with President Joe Biden tomorrow.
Police are trying to work out how and where a man suffered serious injuries to his neck last night. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says he turned up at a Christie's Beach service station seeking help.
Police provided some first aid along with staff members to the 43-year-old Morphett Vale man just before ambulance officers rushed him to the Flinders Medical Centre for treatment. But he is currently in a stable condition in hospital.
Climate scientists are sounding the alarm on soaring temperatures, claiming Earth is entering uncharted territory. Georgia Condek explains.
12 international scientists have found 20 of the planet's 35 vital signs are at record extremes. This year is on track to be the hottest in over 100,000 years. There's already been 38 days where global temperatures sat at more than 1.5 degrees above average. Scientists say humanity is on the brink of suffering through unbearable temperatures, increased natural disasters and shortages of food and fresh water. They want to speed up efforts to combat climate change.
Uber is accelerating plans to become more environmentally friendly, importing 10,000 electric vehicles from China. Drivers will then be able to use the cars under a rent-to-buy scheme. The rideshare giant's planning to eliminate emissions from its operations by 2040. And a Tibetan spaniel's managed to survive in the outback near Broken Hill for more than 5 months before being reunited with her SA owners. Misha ran off in the aftermath of a crash which left her owner in hospital. A 14-month-old chihuahua called Baxter is still missing. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors are here. Gliderroll.com.au.
And Tom, we're in a big game tonight for the Aussies.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it, in terms of the Cricket World Cup, Kendall? Mitchell Marsh has declared he's happy to drop down the order to accommodate Travis Head's return at the One-Day World Cup tonight. The Aussies indeed take on the Netherlands, and last night South Africa beat Bangladesh by 149 runs. Meantime, the Adelaide Strikers women have recorded their second win for the season. That's after beating the Melbourne Stars by 4 wickets. To tennis now, South Aussie Thanasi Kokkinakis has survived a major scare before advancing to the second round of the Playford International. The 27-year-old dropped the opening set against Japanese qualifier Yuzuki Takahashi, but recovered to win the next two. Players had to contend with terribly windy conditions, but Kokkinakis says it's all a part of it.
It's an adjustment, that's for sure. But, you know, tennis, you get used to adapting sort of different conditions, balls, atmosphere, surface, sort of every week. So something I've got to get used to, and you know, if it's good enough for these top guys coming back and playing these events, it's good enough for me.
Audio there thanks to Nine. Meantime, Leighton Hewitt has named an unchanged squad for the Davis Cup quarterfinals next month in Spain. Alex de Minaur will lead the side to take on the Czech Republic in Malaga. To soccer, Let's go to soccer rather, yes, and Manchester United has breathed life into its European Champions League campaign following a hard-fought 1-0 win at home against Copenhagen. The Red Devils finding the winner in the 72nd minute.
Eriksson finds Maguire! Finally, Manchester United have the breakthrough.
Audio thanks to Stan Sport. United still sits in third spot in their group with 3 points from their opening 3 games. Arsenal has jumped to the top of its group after a 2-1 away victory against Sevilla. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
Reimagine your home, elevate your life at 88 O'Connell Street Luxury Apartments. See 88o'connell.com.
G'day there. A few things to look out for this morning. Lights on the blink at West Lakes. That's on West Lakes Boulevard near Military Road. First waterline at Hallock Cove. That's on the top of the hill there. Lonsdale Road near Majors Road. 1 lane out of action. In the city, roads closed due to the World Solar Challenge around Victoria Square, affecting Great Street and Wakefield Street. I got a camera at Darley Road at Paradise. Look for the RAA sign at over 400 independent RAA-approved repairers across SA. You know you can trust them because RAA do. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Can't remember when you had your brakes checked? It's been too long. Call 1300 Automasters now.
A shower or two and 15 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, 19, sunny on Friday, 24 and 26 for Saturday. At the moment, 12. More news as it happens on 5AA.
There are many joys that come with growing older, and Arbor Vitae helps you optimise these joys. Arbor Vitae is an anti-inflammatory supplement made from natural ingredients like pycnogenol, enzyme papain from the papaya fruit, aloe vera and honey. It helps to reduce mild arthritis, relieve other joint pain, and helps to maintain healthy blood glucose, cholesterol levels and cognitive functions. For Tracy from New South Wales, Arbor Vitae has saved her career. She's a cake maker by trade and suffered with sore hands for years. After trying Arbor Vitae, all her pain disappeared and she thanks Arbor Vitae for saving her career. Arbor Vitae health supplements are now available at Chemist Warehouse, Australia's cheapest chemist. arborvitae.com.au. Always read the label and follow directions for use.
Get ready for an unmissable event for car lovers, absolutely stacked with family-friendly entertainment. The Northern Muscle Car Club's Charity Family Fun Day, raising money for Heart Kids SA.
You'll find rows of the most incredible classic muscle and prestige cars. Admire their sleek designs, roaring engines and classic nostalgia. Give your kids the thrill of sitting behind the wheel, or they can enjoy themselves with everything from face painting to bouncy castles.
And look, in these put upon financial times, how's this? Admission is just $5 for adults and kids under 15 get in absolutely free. And it's all for such a good cause for Heart Kids SA, so you're making a difference.
The Northern Muscle Car Club's Charity Family Fun Day at Virginia Oval on October 29th from 11 a.m. Proudly brought to you by Bendigo Bank, Community Bank Virginia and District and Elizabeth.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
22 to 8.
Wonderful text here from Rob. Just mentioned the cost of living, talking about the excellent Northern Muscle Car Club Charity Fun Day being so cheap. Rob, on the Duttons text line says, my wife said that I never take her anywhere expensive anymore, so last night I took it to the servo to refill the car. Who said romance was dead?
It's time to go around the courts with Sean Fuster on 5AA Breakfast.
The Just Lawful podcast presents a special live event November 1st at the Nord Concert Hall. Book at humanitix.com. Sean Fuster, good morning to you.
Good morning, boys. I'm sorry I'm not there in the studio, but I've got other stuff I'm doing already.
Good work, mate.
No, that's okay.
Already working. You keep your eye on the advertiser.com.au website in the next couple of minutes, and the story will be popping up. It's been a very early start today.
Well, when you're up, that's exciing. When you're up early working on something.
Well, the courts aren't open. I wonder what the background is to that, mate. All will be revealed.
Indeed.
This bicycle bandit story is both interesting from the perspective of it's sort of tying up a loose end of a story that a lot of people remember from 20-odd years ago, but also the way it's playing out in court at the moment, Sean, with this tussle over what he should serve, if anything, given his health condition.
It's been been the year for really curly bail questions, hasn't it? When you look at the allegations against Miss Polymiatis, who's allegedly poisoned her parents and yet says she can't stay in custody because of her diabetic condition. Now we've got Kim Parsons saying, well, actually, I've got terminal stage 4 cancer. I'm so ill that I need palliative care as well as chemo and everything else. I've got less than a year to live. Please let me out on bail. I deny these allegations. I deny that I'm the one that robbed 11 banks in 10 years. And the prosecution's now made a blistering turn. They've come back to court and said, well, actually, Your Honour, the major reason he shouldn't have bail is because, according to his own medical records and his own admissions, during the time of the last 5 robberies, he was also terminal with cancer. So if he's capable of robbing 5 banks while having terminal cancer, he's definitely capable of doing it again, the prosecution says, if you let him out now.
Yeah, the fact that he was seriously unwell didn't seem to be putting too much of a dampener on his criminal enterprises, did it?
Well, they're saying that the last of the robberies, the 11th, was actually the most terrifying and vicious. It involved 3 shots being fired off inside a bank at Mount Pleasant, and he was 64 years old at that point. So they're saying if you're 64, terminal cancer, and can terrorise that many people, then 73 with terminal cancer, not long to live, probably makes you more of a candidate to go out and do something dangerous than less. That's at least what the prosecution is saying.
See, I reckon we need a bit of a sort of Judge Judy style approach sometimes to these things, where the eminent jurists presiding over these cases should be able to just hold up a little flashcard that says bullshit sob story, not interested. Because, you know, if you can do all these other things, how does the fact that you're going through some challenge in your life, be it health or upbringing, can be given such weight by the courts?
Well, it's got to be given weight based against the threat, the potential threat, that is, to the safety of the community. Something Daniel and I have been doing the last couple of weeks on Just Lawful is breaking down exactly how bail works and how complicated the decision-making is. This one today, obviously very complicated, because the other day the court said, yes, you can have bail. We think that the balance is right. If you're on home detention, strictly monitored, only allowed to leave the house for medical reasons, and only allowed to leave the house in the company of your wife, who's going to put the house and the mortgage on the line to guarantee that you'll do the right thing, we can give you bail. Prosecutor said, we're going to challenge that in the Supreme Court, and that's going to be heard, boys, today at 2:30. So by the end of today, we should have a ruling on whether or not the alleged bicycle bandit is going to stay in jail until the earliest a trial date will be end of 2025, start of 2026, if he lives that long, or whether he will actually be let out into the community again.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one as it develops over the course of the day. Take us inside the story of Terry Scott Woodall, Sean, who, by good fortune, managed to win himself $15 million, yet it sounds like some prize caught up with him with the win.
Guys, this is one we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I remember Pembo being quite fascinated by it. This is the idea of whether he had done the right thing or the wrong thing by failing to tell his creditors that he'd won $15 million, because he was a bankrupt at the time. He'd already gone bankrupt with debts of $300K, $400K-ish. He wins the $15 million. He contacts his creditors and he says, look, I'm prepared to pay you out the amount that I owe you according to bankruptcy court. They say, no, if you've got money, you can give us $1 million. He's like, all right, fine, I'll give you $1 million. Pays out the $1 million. A couple of years down the track after that, he gets charged by the federal bean counters for failing to disclose his winnings to the creditors, and they say this is a criminal offence. Ever since then, he's been caught up in court fighting it. He's offered to plead to a lesser charge. They've accepted that during COVID lockdown, saying, oh, that's nice and convenient right now. Then they've gone, no, we don't accept that anymore because now it's not COVID, we can put you to trial. He's fought it. The whole thing goes all the way up to the district court and back to the magistrates, up to the district court again, and then they bloody drop the charges.
Do you know, Sean, how much of the $15 million he's still got?
I would assume most of it, but at the same time, the court never got to hear that, guys. This is the thing. It was so tied up in the legal proclivities of whether or not this should even go ahead and what the charge should be that we never got the full toe dogs of the allegation. It was one of the least penetrated, least discussed court cases I've ever sat in.
Wow.
So much sturm and drang over absolutely nothing in the end, because then they just dropped it in front of the judge. So he walks away with however much money he's got left. The creditors have been repaid anyway. All the debts are clear. It's just that this regulatory offence is not going ahead. It's been a really strange trip, this one.
Wow.
He looked pretty flash outside court, I thought. He had a decent sort of suit on and nice V-neck
I think he's a happy
shirt.
man.
Yeah.
I think he's a happy man. Let's put it that way. I mean, at the end of the day, like regardless of whether you think he's done the right thing or the wrong thing, this has been 10 years of his life. Like I think any of us would be grateful to finally be out of the courts after 10 years.
He spent $67,000 on a speedboat, a Mobius IXL.
Sounds
that
fun.
sounds pretty cool.
That's right. That was what triggered all of the investigation. So yeah.
And Sean, you've still got a few tickets available for the live show?
We do. Please come along at humanitix.com. We're trying to fill the place so that we can give as much money as possible to the Zara Foundation. So not only will you get a exclusive 90-minute version of Just Lawful live that will not be available anywhere else, where we ask you guys to decide what the outcome of the case should be and how that compares to what the outcome of the case was, but all the part proceeds will be going to the Zara Foundation, which helps women who are escaping domestic and intimate partner violence start their lives again. It's a brilliant group.
Yeah, very important organisation, Sean. Great stuff as always. Sean Fuster there, the Chief Court Reporter for The Advertiser.
14 to 8, let's check traffic thanks to Keyser. Are you tired of back pain? Well, it's time to try Keyser, KIESER.com.au.
Thanks, Will. At Oakland's Park, Carrierwood Tree on Morford Road near the Warrior Hotel. And the city roads closed around Victoria Square for the World Solar Challenge, affecting Great Street and Wakefield Street. Traffic lights on the blink at West Lakes Boulevard near Military Road with cameras this morning, Fosters Road, Oakton, and Gwyn Street at Firle. Get double the value with the Porto's famous double Bondi burger. Grilled chicken breast fillets with lettuce, cheese, creamy mayo and chilli sauce, just $9.95. Limited time offer only at Porto. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift.
Right now, Toyota Material Handling is having a massive clear out of 2022 and 23 plated forklifts. Score great deals across a selected range of new Toyota forklifts currently in stock. Counterbalance and reach forklifts, walkie stackers and more. So if it's 22 or 23 plated, get a great Toyota forklift deal. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
T's and C's apply. Offer ends December 31.
It's a frightening thought, but what if you lost the capacity to manage your financial affairs? If you're not at the helm, who makes medical or health decisions? Who controls the family trust? From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers will answer your questions and help carry out your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com. That's donlanlawyers.com. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
It isn't waste until you waste it. That's the catch cry from an amazing company called Eco Waste Solutions. Eco Waste Solutions is a hard waste recycling facility, not a dump, located at Williston. They'll take everything except hazardous waste and food scraps. They'll take your waste bricks, your mattresses, tyres, soil, timber, steel, concrete and more. Plus, if you pre-sort your load, you'll receive a 50% discount on disposal fees. Google Eco Waste Solutions Williston for more.
Yes, it's just one little word, but at AusYes Migration, it's our favourite one. Can we help with partner visas? Yes. Can we help you apply for Australian citizenship? Yes. Do we look after New Zealanders who are now eligible for permanent visas? Yes. Skilled migration, parents visas, visitor visas, status resolution for Centrelink payments? Yes, yes and yes. AusYes understands the system and is ready to help you. Go to ausyes.com.au. That's AUSYES.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
11 to 8, John and Melbourne's on the line. Morning to you, John.
Good morning, guys. Just ringing up to let you know that Barshalls Road is now shut for the Harvest Rock between Sequoiaville and East Terrace.
Ah, of course, Harvest Rock coming up this weekend.
Are people getting caught out there, John?
A little bit. I knew, the advertising on it said it was going to be shut from Monday onwards, but today was like the first day of it.
Right.
Rundle Street's banking up a little bit coming into the city, but it's not too bad now, but I wouldn't want to be in it like in another half an hour or so.
Yeah, good
advice.
tip, John. I'll
Thank
tell you
you
what,
for that.
yesterday morning I had to go from here after the market to do a little bit of filming, believe it or not, Will, for the Seafood and Sounds event coming up at the market Friday and Saturday of this week.
You've got your eye on one of those MasterChef judge positions, haven't you?
Well, there's a few vacancies. Well, there were. Until I was sadly overlooked for Poe.
It feels to me like you're working on a plan, a long-term plan.
The city was a car park yesterday. There's some huge structure in the middle of Victoria Square that's been put up. What would that be for? Balo? Not sure.
No, I'm not. Don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's the Christmas tree. I don't know. Maybe they need to put in some more flag poles. Got a few more flags need to fly at half mast. Who knows?
It's sadly probably the reality. 9 minutes to 8. Let's do this.
Give us the tea, Adelaide.
If you've got a rumour, a bit of goss, or something you can give us the inside running on, you could win yourself a brand new Smeg kettle.
Look at it.
8223 0000.
That is a cracker.
There's no better kettle.
There isn't. Listen to that.
You might have friends that also have a Smeg kettle, in which case it's a tie for the best kettle in your social group. But if they don't, you will have it by winning the Smeg kettle this morning.
Superb lines on it. Beautiful bit of sleek, sort of modern design.
Building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the Smeg showroom at Demney Distributors. Takes the difference with Smeg. 8223 0000 is the number. Sam will make sure you remain totally anonymous too. You'll be not identified. Hell, if it's really out there, he can get the voice changer on you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, give the full 7:30 report treatment.
Exactly right.
Whistleblower.
We've done that before for people that are too close to the source.
One of my mates texted World Solar Challenge. That's what it is in the square. That's a good thing.
Oh, yeah, the Solar Challenge.
It's good for smart kids.
The South Australian uni teams.
Encourage the STEM kids. You know, they're the future of our economy, advanced manufacturing. That's actually part of today's Breaking A, which is a great local story. Yeah, yeah.
That's coming up very shortly. Get those rumours coming in. 8223 0000 is the number. It's time for John Blake, thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions. Interstate freight, distribution, warehousing and local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast 13 13 64.
Now, the latest news with Wallace Fogg. Good morning, early risers. This is Wallace Fogg with another 5AA News update. Excitement all around as the new co-host for Channel 10's I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here is revealed. Bob Irwin, who these days prefers to be referred to as Robert, will be standing next to Julia Morris in the new series, and he's only just about to turn 20. He said, I'm so excited to be part of it because wildlife and conservation is my life, and I have a huge love of Africa. To be able to bring that experience and love for the wildlife over there is going to be great. Someone then pointed out to young Robert that the show had almost nothing to do with Africa, wildlife or conservation, but more about B-grade celebrities with mental health issues. Some are saying this is the biggest thing to happen to Robert Irwin since his famous father almost fed him publicly to a crocodile. In other news, well-known 5AA broadcaster Jade Roblin is leaving 5AA after 2 years behind the microphone. She says she's had a wonderful time in the afternoon slot. This is my decision, and it's been a really tough one, and one that I haven't taken lightly. But why wouldn't I leave? They've taken the printer out of the Studio 2 production area without consulting anybody. They've taken the spotlights out of both studios without asking any of us, and they won't let us take drinks into the studios unless they're in a cup with a stupid bloody lid on it. She went on to say, I've had lots of laughs and it's been a privilege to share the afternoons with all the fabulous listeners, but if they insist on making us wash our own coffee cups, then I am done! And that's the news for this Wednesday. I'm Wallace Fogg. More 5AA News coming up at 8 o'clock, or as close as we can get.
Never seen Jade lose a temper.
No, I think Blakey was, piggybacking on Jade's retirement to air some grievances with management.
Well, I think it's what's called projecting, isn't it?
Projecting.
Yeah, getting it off his chest himself, using her as a vehicle to air his own log of complaints against management.
Hopefully she's still around the place in some capacity, Jade. That would be nice.
Yeah, she's terrific. We love Jade.
She's a lovely person. 5 to 8, more from John Blake after 8:30 when we go behind closed doors. This next competition was the subject of behind closed doors earlier in the week. We are giving away some tickets to the VIP section of the pageant. You just need to complete A very simple lyric. Get calling now, 82230055.
When Will says complete, he means complete correctly as
Yes,
well.
don't just make sounds.
Further to that text we got yesterday from that listener, who I thought rightly argued there was a glaring logical hole in the manner in which this competition had been structured. It said just complete the lyrics. Didn't
Courts regularly interpret intent, and I think the intent is pretty clear.
So it's like the implied right to freedom of speech in the Constitution.
Exactly. It doesn't explicitly say.
Suggestion in the wording of the competition that the lyrics have to be correct.
Yes.
I beg to differ.
Well, lawyer up. Experience the magic of Christmas.
Where's Craig Caldecott when you need him?
With the National Pharmacy's Christmas Pageant, celebrating the official start of the festive season on Saturday, the 4th of November, 2023. 82230000. Amanda was fastest and gets the first crack. Amanda, good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, Amanda.
Good luck, Amanda.
Because do you do the sleepover for the good spot for the Christmas pageant?
I'm hoping not to.
Yeah, you won't have to if you win this. Okay, all you need to do is finish this lyric.
Underneath the Christmas tree.
Sorry, Amanda. So close.
That was right, wasn't it?
I would have sung that, I reckon, but it's not right. Grace, good morning.
Oh, that's a tough one. It's not underneath the Christmas tree.
It's not underneath the Christmas tree.
I find this song morally troubling anyway.
Sophie, good morning.
I actually have no idea.
Sorry, Sophie. 82230000. Get calling. There's now space available if you know the remainder of this lyric.
What sort of pervert wrote that song in the first place? That's my question.
Well, I think it
Imagine catching your mother on Christmas Eve kissing Father Christmas. I mean,
But
it's
isn't
just a family being torn apart by dysfunction, doesn't it?
Isn't the implication that Santa and Daddy may be the...
Well, no. Well, that's not true. Everyone knows that's not true.
I'm
Father
just
Christmas lives in the
saying
North Pole.
that's what the song might mean.
He turns up from the North Pole and there's Mum, passionate.
What about Mrs. Claus?
That's just
what you're
wrong.
saying. Nick, good morning.
Good morning, guys. I believe it's underneath the mistletoe last.
Underneath the mistletoe last night.
There you go, Nick. Congratulations. No sleep out for Nick and Burnside. You are in the VIP grandstand. Congratulations to you, Nick.
Oh, this competition.
Experience the magic of Christmas with the National Pharmacy's Christmas Pageant, celebrating the official start of the festive season, Saturday, 4th of November.
We talked about game shows earlier. What about this text on the Dutton's text line from Brent the Milky? He says, I believe the ultimate game show should be called Finish the Lyrics, Winner, Winner, Winner. There you go.
Yeah.
Well done, Nick.
It's going well. I'm not sure
it'll be back.
really well. I'm not sure it'll be back next year. We try a lot of things. We've been doing this for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Some work. Some are great.
Do you reckon Nick Googled the lyrics? I reckon he did.
Do you think?
Yeah, he probably did.
But mistletoe is what you kiss under, so,
Yeah. Do you host the Christmas pageant, Will? Is that part of your job at Channel 7?
I think it's a Channel 9 event, that one.
Is it? Oh, you do the carols, don't
I do
you?
the carols. Yeah. I'm a famed caroller. You know me, singing and dancing, and it's the most natural fit you could ever imagine.
That's right.
It's just, I was made to do it.
Told him parumpa-pum-pum.
I was made to do it.
Good King Wenceslas once looked out.
All right, 5AA News is coming up.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. We're helping life flow.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
With help from Flurio Milk Company and the Udder Way, cafes all over Adelaide have joined the fight to reduce plastic waste. Instead of single-use plastic bottles, they've introduced the Udder Way's reusable 18-litre kegs. In the initial week, they stand to eliminate 1,500 plastic bottles. Together with other cafes, supermarkets, schools, restaurants, hotels and workplaces, millions of single-use plastic bottles will be taken out of circulation. You gotta feel good about that. Visit fleuriomilkco.com.au for more.
Dreaming of a new car? Make it happen at Solitaire Volkswagen. As South Australia's largest Volkswagen dealership, we have plenty of stock available now for immediate delivery with unbeatable deals on new and demonstrator vehicles. Now is the time to visit Solitaire Volkswagen at Hawthorn and Medindi, DL 65541.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. For October only, the manufacturers of our fabulous 20mm thick outdoor pavers have up to half the prices for National Tiles customers exclusively. Yes, for October only, the manufacturers of our fabulous 20mm thick outdoor pavers have up to half the prices for National Tiles customers exclusively. Easy to lay and easy to clean, National Tiles fabulous outdoor pavers at up to half price, but only for October and only at National Tiles.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
A shower or two and 15 with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Chipped windscreen? Complete Windscreens can repair it from just $99. Look for the big red koala.
The federal government will deploy 2 additional Defence Force personnel and aircraft to the Middle East as part of Operation Beach. More from Lauren Tomasi.
The Defence Minister is calling this a contingency amid a volatile situation in the Middle East. 2 RAAF planes and a significant number of troops are being sent to the Middle East. Australians in the region are being urged that if they would like to leave, they should go now. The Australian government announcement comes as America is bolstering its presence in the region too, sending F-16 fighter jets, as the Pentagon revealed there have been 13 attacks on American forces in the past week.
While there are concerns Islamophobia is growing in SA in the wake of the Israel-Hamas war, arsonists have struck at mosques in Woodville North and Parkholme in recent days. Local Islamic leaders will meet with police today to look at boosting security. Police Minister Joe Sockarch says any hate crimes will not be tolerated.
This type of aggression in any place of worship is atrocious.
A car was torched at Keswick last night. The blaze broke out on Eaton Road just after 9. The Ford Fairmont was extensively damaged. Police believe it was deliberately lit. A man's been arrested in Sydney over the fatal shooting of a Melbourne underworld figure. Christina Hearn has details.
At 6 a.m. this morning, police arrested a 22-year-old man in New South Wales over the brazen daylight killing of underworld figure Gavin Capable Preston. Preston died in a hail of bullets when he sat in a cafe in Keilor last month. Police have issued a statement just minutes ago. In part it reads, the fear that this type of offending generates, along with the high risk of innocent parties being killed, seriously injured or traumatised, is unacceptable. We will continue to utilise all resources to find those responsible at any level and hold them to account.
The controversial issue of flying the Aboriginal flag at half-mast following the Voice referendum defeat was raised at last night's Adelaide City Council meeting, but Lord Mayor Jane Lomax-Smith was standing firm.
This was actually followed by a vote in our area with polling booths showing 65% approximately for yes in the square mile and 55% approximately for yes in North Adelaide. As Council's principal spokesperson, I'm of the view that it was appropriate for Council to express empathy for those affected by the result of the referendum.
Uber is planning to import 10,000 electric vehicles from China. The rideshare service would then issue the cars to drivers under a rent-to-buy scheme as part of its plans to become more environmentally friendly. And an Australian staple is today marking a milestone. Eddie Summerfield has details.
We're happy little Vegemite, we're bright as bright can be.
It's been 100 years since Vegemite first hit Australian shelves. It took Cyril Callister 4 years to develop the spread in Melbourne to cover a Marmite shortage. His grandson Jamie explaining it wasn't smooth sailing in the early years.
It just failed to excite. It was a complete dud.
It would take a joint campaign with Kraft, giving the spread away with cheese, for sales to soar in the 1930s. Then in 1954, an iconic jingle. Jamie says new owners Bega Cheese should have global ambitions for Vegemite's next century.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Intrigue surrounds the makeup of Australia's 11 ahead of tonight's World Cup one-day clash against the Netherlands with South Aussie Travis Head. A big chance to return. Last night it was South Africa belting Bangladesh by 149 runs. Well, South Aussie Thanasi Kokonakis has moved into the second round of the City of Playford tennis tournament in Elizabeth, but not before a major scare after dropping the first set against Japanese qualifier Yuzuki Takahashi. Defending champion and fellow Aussie Rinki Hijikata will be in action later today. Meantime, Greek star Maria Sakkari will play at the WTA finals, replacing the injured Karolina Muhova. Former Socceroos boss Ange Postecoglou is receiving worldwide plaudits for his record-breaking start to life managing in England. He's picked up 23 points from his first 9 games in charge of Tottenham. Former Manchester United goalkeeper Mark Bosnich says he now has Spurs fans dreaming of their first EPL title.
It's a fantastic start. I always say don't look at the table until 10 games. Well, they're only 1 game off the 10 games, and they're there because they deserve to be there. When I say there, I mean undefeated and top of the table after 9 games.
Meantime, in European Champions League action, it's been a good morning for the English clubs, with Manchester United 1-0 winners against Copenhagen, while Arsenal had a 2-1 win against Sevilla. To racing, trainer Gay Waterhouse has declared her gelding Alligator Blood the horse to beat for Saturday's $5 million Cox Plate. He'll jump from barrier 5 in the 12-horse field. To baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies and Arizona Diamondbacks will meet in Game 7 of their American League Championship Series this morning, with the winner to advance to the World Series, where they'll play against the Texas Rangers. And the 2023-24 NBA season tips off today, with defending champions Denver taking on LeBron James and the LA Lakers. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
Reimagine your home, elevate your life at 88 O'Connell Street Luxury Apartments. See 88o'connell.com.
At Oaklands Park, residual delays from nearly a crash on Morford Road near the Warradale Hotel. In the city, roads closed to the World Solar Challenge. That's around Victoria Square, affecting Grote Street and Wakefield Streets. First waterman at Hallett Cove today. Lonsdale Road near Majors Road, down to 1 lane. And look out for a camera today, Piccadilly Road at Piccadilly. Simmons Homes, stunning home designs with a lifetime structural guarantee. Discover stunning Simmons display homes all around Adelaide today. Visit simmons.com.au for locations. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Can't remember when you had your brakes checked? It's been too long. Call 1300 Automasters now.
A shower or two and 15 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, 19, sunny on Friday, 24 and 26 for Saturday. At the moment, 12. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
8 after 8, breaking 8 coming up in just a moment. David Koch shortly thereafter. Talked to him about Michelle Bullock's comments yesterday, speaking publicly as the head of the RBA, about cost of living more generally. And then after 8:30, a very pressing financial need for a very specific cause. Seb Stone, the young man who came to grief in Vietnam coming off a scooter, needs money to be raised to get him home and get him home safely. He suffered brain damage that crash. His uncle will join us on 5AA Breakfast to talk about how that fundraising drive is going and the condition of Seb, which we understand, covered a bit on 7 News last night, is improving. He is recovering, but
good news.
We need to get him back to Australia, and again, that's a sensitive and expensive transfer. So we'll talk more about that after 8:30.
Well, the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, is currently in Washington, where, as you heard in the news headlines before, he announced overnight a new $20 million military support package for Ukraine. It's going to provide a whole bunch of stuff, including counter-drone systems, demining equipment. But the thing that really interests us here at 5AA is that it also includes portable X-ray machines, which, in a huge fillip for South Australia and its emerging status as an advanced manufacturer. They're made right here in Adelaide at the Tonsley Innovation Precinct by a spectacular little company called MicroX, which I've been lucky enough to visit myself. I was down there a bit over a year ago meeting the guys, and it's a great Adelaide story because so many of the people who work at Micro X come out of the car industry, out of the smouldering ruins of Mitsubishi and particularly Holden. A lot of young men and women who were particularly adept at working with their hands and doing sort of, high-end advanced stuff are now making these remarkable machines that have got a demonstrated life-saving ability out in the fields of Ukraine as they continue to battle their illegal war with Russia. Kingsley Hall is the CEO of MicroX, and he's joining us today for Breaking at 8. Kingsley, this is a great Adelaide story, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Look, wonderful introduction. Thanks, David. Look, it is a great story, and you touch on our manufacturing and engineering team, and a lot of those guys and girls came from Holden, GMH. They're high-quality, very talented individuals which make these life-saving products here in Tonsley.
Now, when I was there, I was stunned by how small these things are, but their capacity to work and produce the same sort of results that a big unit would in a major public hospital. Like, it's a phenomenal bit of kit, isn't it?
Yeah, so for people that haven't seen it, it's kind of a bit like pushing around a golf buggy with a golf bag on it. Like, it's very, very easy to manoeuvre. You can do it with one hand or a finger, really, and weighs about 95 kilograms. To give some perspective, the other units that have our capability are probably in the 400 to 500 kilogram range. So wow. it's tailor-made for this type of use case.
And I've seen some correspondence. I did a story about it for the Oz about a year ago, where Ukrainian military commanders had actually written to Australia specifically naming MicroX and saying this is exactly the type of stuff we need, because there were some photographs I saw of guys with terrible shrapnel wounds and so on that had been identified in the field in real time, and they'd managed to get them to hospitals and perform life-saving surgery on them.
Yeah, look, it was extraordinary. I mean, we supplied about 13 units into the Ukraine probably 12 months or so ago now through a US charitable organisation, and the feedback from the frontline users, as you referenced, was just overwhelming. One of our units in particular, I think, was used 6,000 times in its first month. One of the great parts of our technology is our units run all day on a battery charge. They don't need to be connected to power. And as you say, they're saving lives. Our company purpose is creating revolutionary X-rays to better lives. And this type of application is fantastic reward.
How do you imagine it might be used in theatres outside of a war zone, Kingsley? I'm thinking in Australia, would it be when there's been a disaster of some description, going to areas like that, or do you picture it more being in sporting clubs and places that would be able to have access to technology like this they might not otherwise?
Yeah, look, it's all of that, Will. The genesis of the idea came from an early capability contract with the Australian Defence back in 2015-16, I think, for deployable hospital use. Because of its weight and its ease and mobility, it works really well on deployed hospital floors, on the wooden floors of temporary hospitals. So if you talk about any type of community need quickly and in emergency situations, it's perfect for that. We've sold a number of our units into professional US sporting teams, so across the NFL and the NHL, because they can, and the baseball teams actually, because they can use them on the field to image their athletes without having to take them to a hospital. And even within a standard hospital, our units can be used to take X-rays of infirmed patients in their beds. You don't have to move them to a fixed X-ray room.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff.
Amazing technology.
In a broader sense too, Kingsley, just to wrap up, I'd just say after Chrysler, then, Mitsubishi at the end, when it closed, it felt like that whole part of town was a bit of a wasteland, and even when the innovation district started, I sort of had a fear that it was a bit of a triumph of optimism over reality, and that, the big hope was that with all this government money, somehow businesses would take hold there. But it's actually happened, and the great thing is now you've got all these private companies like yours down in Tonsley. It's a real hub of activity. I couldn't believe it when I visited it. It's great to see how we've gone from the old heavy manufacturing past to something as exciting as this, not just for you, but so many of the other businesses that are residents there in Tonsley.
Look, it's a fantastic precinct. Ourselves and there's a number of other companies not dissimilar to ours down there, and it has a great feel about it. It's a great use of space. The South Australian government were very supportive of us. We relocated here from Melbourne many, many years ago. They were very supportive, and we really enjoyed being down there. And I would just, in closing, just want to pay tribute to our staff who brought this deal together very, very quickly. Very, very talented bunch of guys, and we're doing great stuff down there.
Yeah, no, it's an excellent story. Good on you, Kingsley. Kingsley Hall, the CEO of MicroX. Thanks for joining us this morning for Breaking It 8.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks, guys.
You can actually go and have a look at it. If you've got a quiet afternoon, you want to go down. And the other thing is you can go there for lunch because there's little cafes and everything else. But the old main assembly hall where they used to make like Valiant when it was Chrysler, and then when they were making Magnas and everything else when it was Mitsubishi. Like, you can actually go in there, and it's just this cavernous room with all these giant steel sort of bigger than railway sleeper girders that they used to hoist cars on. And now you've got, BAE and all these different firms in there doing this amazing stuff. Yeah.
Great story. Let's check traffic thanks to Keezer. Are you tired of back pain? Well, it's time to try Keezer, KIESER.com.au.
At Wingfield, got a 3-car collision on the north-south motorway inbound to the Salisbury Highway interchange. In the city, roads closed to the World Solar Challenge around Victoria Square, affecting Grove Street and Wakefield Street. Best Watermine at Hannah Cove this morning, Lonsdale Road near Majors Road, and a couple of cameras out and about. You'll find them Pine Avenue, Harndorf, and Smart Road at St Agnes. Of course, Money Gomez is under $10 menu, $3 tacos, free-range chicken tacos, fries with chipotle, mayo and more. This is value without compromise. GYG. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Who's the biggest sook in sport? The England Lala head, and I call him that, Johnny Bairstow. He's broken his silence over his legal, and I'm going to say that again, legal stumping by Alex Carey was the Lord's test. Cool and wet, you sooky Lala head.
Rowie and Timmy G.
He looks like he's eaten a lot of pies. He's got a big round head.
Don't be throwing stones.
4 p.m. weekdays on 5AA.
I'm Kathy Nagel, the Chief Executive of Western Hospital Henley Beach. We all hear that access to general practitioners is increasingly difficult. Healthcare costs are escalating and many question the value for money when accessing GPs. Western GP Clinic are proud to boast a level of care and expertise encompassing a holistic approach, whilst providing a value option. To discuss your GP questions, call 1300 934 325. That's 1300 934 325 or visit westernhospitalgp.com.au.
You can do just about anything online. Shop, meet new friends, watch reruns of your favourite TV shows or movies. But there's one thing you should never do online, and that's your will. From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers can answer your questions and help carry out your final wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
When you need to get the job done, you deserve a one-stop shop. When it comes to all things tools for tradies and also serious DIYers, it's all in one place at Toolkit Depot.
Toolkit Depot Seaford is having a massive car park sale this Saturday, so if you've got a project coming up, you can't miss it.
Hurry in for exclusive deals on the day, including tool brands on site like Makita, DeWalt, Husqvarna, King Chrome and Peerless. Plus, there'll also be food and drinks available and prizes and plenty of giveaways.
Don't miss Toolkit Depot Seaford. A massive car park sale this Saturday, October 28. It's on from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 13 to 15 Seaford Road, Seaford Meadows. Visit toolkitdepot.com.au. Toolkit Depot, everything you need to get the job done.
Get into Ranella Mazda for a huge range of BT50s. New or demo or reduced, in stock, ready for immediate delivery. With $2,000 of genuine Mazda accessories with every new BT50 sold. Hurry, only at Ranella Mazda, Main South Road, Ranella. LVD 152780.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
19 minutes after 8. We have a Smeg kettle to give away before 9 o'clock. Building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the Smeg showroom at Devoney Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg. Couple of texted rumours coming through on the Duttons text line. It will be a caller, though, that wins the kettle. 8223 0000 is the number. Don't worry, your identity will remain concealed. Sam will make sure of that. Get calling and have a chat with him about the rumour that you can furnish us with before 9 o'clock. Comments of Reserve Bank Governor Michelle Bullock yesterday.
The board won't hesitate to raise the cash rate further if there's a material upward revision to the outlook for inflation. This includes a full update of the staff's forecasts. We're going to reconsider the outlook for the economy in the light of incoming information, and we'll have opportunities to explain our assessment in the media release and the statement on monetary policy, which will follow the November meeting.
David Koch, good morning to you.
Good morning, Javs. Yes, Michelle Bullock, very, very clear there in what she's going to do, isn't she?
She seems to be trying to send a message, not so much to the public, but maybe directly to the government, that she's not going to be a soft touch.
Absolutely, and so she should. 11:30 this morning is a big time for interest rates. That's when the September quarter CPI figure will be released. Now, the magic number, when you hear it on 5AA News when it's released, is 1%. If the quarterly figure is 1% or less, then it's a very good chance they'll keep official interest rates on hold in the November meeting. So if it comes in at 0.8 or 0.9%, then basically interest rates on hold. If it comes in at 1.1% or above, well then it's more likely they are going to increase interest rates on Melbourne Cup Day when they next meet. So that's the number to keep in the back of your mind as everyone talks about it and brings you the news. But what Michelle Bullock is saying is that, hey, it's not just up to us.
Yeah.
It's not just up to the Reserve Bank. We can only slow the economy and help bring down inflation through increasing interest rates. Federal government, you've got a lot of tools. You've got a lot of things at your disposal to do it, but you want to be the good guys. You don't want to bring the pain on everyone. You're leaving it up to us. Hey, my challenge to you, Jim Chalmers, Treasurer, is to you the government has got to start pulling its weight as well.
In terms of the government, Koshy, in the last couple of days there's been a Morgan poll and another poll that was published in the Australian Financial Review showing a significant decline in Labor's primary vote. Indeed, one poll has actually got the coalition ahead for the first time in about 2 years. Do you think, and obviously the huge no vote suggested that this is a factor, particularly in working class areas. I mean, we had the highest no vote anywhere in the country in a Labor-held seat was in Adelaide's northern suburbs. Do you think there's a perception that the government's not doing enough on cost of living?
I think I think we need to let the voice referendum wash its way through the polls first up. But I think that was a backlash to the average Australian going, look, you can't get us for fools here. Why don't you give us all the details? Why haven't you worked all this out before you wanted us to vote in a referendum to change the Constitution? You should have briefed us better. But there is no doubt that the cost of living is really hurting at the moment. And the government is a big beneficiary, don't forget. When Jim Chalmers, a bit like Oprah, Oprah would say, you can have a car, you can have a car. Jim Chalmers has been saying, you can have a pay rise, you can have a pay rise. But the government is a major beneficiary because of bracket creep. Personal income tax revenue has never been higher. It's almost at record levels. That's why the budget is in surplus when we were told only 6 months ago it would be a massive deficit, not only because of commodity prices going high, but because of you and me paying more in tax. So the pay rise comes through. We're paying more on our mortgage. We're paying more at the supermarket because of inflation, and we're getting more taken away from us through higher taxes and bracket creep. And I think the average Australian is saying, I can't make ends meet. Yes, I'm in a job at the moment, but I've got no cash left over at the end of the month after payday. And I think there's everyone shaking their head and saying, government, what are you doing about it? How can you help us?
Absolutely. I think that's exactly how people feel. David Koch, the chairman of the Port Adelaide Football Club, thanks so much for joining us this morning, Dave. Talk again next week.
Good on you guys.
25 minutes after 8. Some good texts coming through while we've been chatting on the Duttons text line. Duttons for Ford, Haval, Hyundai, Isuzu, Ute, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Ram, Subaru and Volkswagen. Duttons, easy to do business with.
One of them I was going to do was Breaking at 8. I was trying to hold it for tomorrow, but it's out now anyway. So this is from the Harndorf community about River Road. So out of the blue, Dipty sent all these guys up there in the last 24 hours to chop down another 27 trees along River Road.
Right.
This is in readiness for it becoming the official route on the 1st of November. Now, talking to locals yesterday, I've been told, and I've actually got a draft press release that's going to be put out generally today, they are publicly calling for the state government to delay the Harndorf Main Street truck ban on safety grounds, saying that River Road is not an acceptable route, and that the fact that they're out there scrambling, you know, on the eve of the change in policy to chop down all of these trees suggests that even the department knows it's not quite, you know, fit for purpose yet. We're going to talk to one of the Harndorf residents groups about this tomorrow.
It certainly lends credence to all the residents that called us saying, have you driven down there? Have a look.
Well, there's a rumour too that they've actually... I've heard that there was a meeting that the Premier himself attended last week in Harndorf, or in the past couple of weeks, where they're actually trying to come up with a completely alternative route, which in a meeting was described as a silver bullet, which would be a link between Echunga Road and the bottom of River Road that's called Fairview Road. And that the Transport Department's been told, look at this as an alternative. The issue is, though, there's at least 5 properties that are on that stretch of road that are directly affected by it, and some of them aren't happy. But River Road may yet be scrapped if this alternative route, which my mail is the Premier, knowing how vexed this has become in the community, apparently he was saying, well, is there a silver bullet here? And this Fairview Road plan has been identified as a potential solution.
Sounds like there's a bit to run on that one yet. 8223 0000 is our number. Given that information, you might be a local with some insights into whether the Fairview option is indeed a silver bullet. You can text us your thoughts too on the Duttons text line 048008 1395, or jump on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream and leave us your comments. 5AA News is coming up. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Is your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable? Introducing new Caruso's Bloaties. Caruso's Bloaties contains peppermint and ginger, which are traditionally used in Western herbal medicine to relieve belly bloating, plus digestive enzymes to help your body digest lactose and fat. So if you're fed up with your bloated belly making you feel fat and miserable, try Caruso's Bloaties today. Caruso's Bloaties is available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
It's been gone for decades. It's a thing of the past. But even today, it haunts some of us. If you suffered from polio as a child or it affected your parents, Polio SA Support Group would like to hear from you. Symptoms like weakness, joint pain and fatigue may still persist and can be managed. Polio SA is committed to making life for polio survivors as comfortable as possible. Find out more at poliosa.org.au.
Now, the great people at Samtas, they've got delicious dinner ideas for you and your family. This week, how's this? Fresh silver whiting fillets, a bargain at $37.99 a kilo, or King George whiting fillets, just $55.99 a kilo. I've seen them for like $70 and $80 sometimes. Did you know that Samtas offer the largest variety of premium, ocean-caught Australian prawn meats and cutlets ready for your next amazing prawn dish?
You can feed the family on a budget with Samtas's unbeatable quality seafood deal. Snap frozen kilo packs of your favourite seafoods, mix and match 4 kilos, just $60.
It's the deal CPI forgot. You can also pick up fillets and portions of skinless deboned snapper, dory, red emperor, ocean trout, Atlantic salmon, all to choose from in Samtas's deal. 4 kilos, just $60.
Even Spencer Gulf King prawns are included. Samtas Seafoods open 7 days. Our SA King prawn, fresh fish, seafood and oyster specialist.
Factory direct with convenient on-site and free parking. Samtas Seafoods, Richmond Road, Richmond, and it's open Sundays too.
With energy prices continuing to soar, Solar Heart is helping smart Australians soak up more sunshine, store more energy and save more money on every bill. And right now, you can save up to $750 on Solar Heart solar power systems. The bigger the system, the bigger the saving. But with government incentives set to reduce, it pays to get in quick. Don't settle for soaring energy prices. Get smart. Get Solar Heart. Terms and conditions apply.
The B in lamb is silent, but you won't be once you hear that Aldi's marinated lamb leg steaks are now only $19.99 per kilo. What? Shh, it's just lamb. Aldi, good, different.
FIVEAA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to FIVEAA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
A shower or two and 15 with the 8:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Complete windscreen supply and fit, front, rear and door glass. Proudly South Australian since 1976.
Australia will send 2 additional military aircraft and an undisclosed number of personnel to the Middle East. Australia's not had a request for military help from Israel in its war against Hamas, and the planes will not be involved in any operations. But Defence Minister Richard Marles says no one can predict what will happen, and they want to be ready to get Australians to safety.
We're all watching what's playing out in Israel and Gaza. No one can be certain as to whether or not this escalates. If it does, we want to make sure that we are as prepared as we possibly can be for what is a significant Australian population who are in the wider region.
While extra security could be deployed at local mosques amid the conflict. More from Mel Usher.
Islamic leaders are concerned by so-called hate crimes in SA in the wake of the Middle East conflict. 2 mosques in the metro area at Woodville North and Parkholme have been targeted by arsonists in the past week. There are fears worshippers will stay away if it continues. There has been a 10-fold increase in Islamophobia in Australia since October 7. Foreign Affairs Minister Penny Wong taking to social media to condemn the attacks, urging people to stand together against discrimination, hate speech and prejudice. Islamic leaders in SA will meet with police today to discuss extra security.
A man's in hospital after suffering a serious wound to his neck at Christie's Beach last night. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says he was found at a service station on Dyson Road.
He is currently in a stable condition in hospital, but police are investigating how the man actually sustained these injuries as well as where it may have occurred.
Detectives investigating the death of underworld figure Gavin Capable Preston, who was gunned down while sitting at a Melbourne cafe, have arrested a 22-year-old man in Sydney. Heavily armed officers detained the man in the southwestern suburb of Bradbury after a dawn raid this morning. The new Reserve Bank governor says the bank won't hesitate to hike interest rates if inflation continues to rise. The official cash rate's been sitting at 4.1% since July. Michelle Bullock says the board will be analysing quarterly inflation data and employment figures before the next rate decision.
Our focus does remain on bringing inflation back to target within a reasonable time frame while keeping employment growing. It's possible that this can be done with the cash rate at its current level, but there are risks that could see inflation return to target more slowly than currently forecast.
Vegemite is celebrating 100 years since first hitting Australian shelves. The spread was developed by Cyril Callister in 1923 to match UK rival Marmite. His grandson Jamie Callister says it wasn't all smooth sailing though.
It's an acquired taste, and even when it rolled off the production line in 1923, 100 years ago, it was, it failed to excite. So it took a while for people to get used to it.
And Vegemite's releasing mini silver replicas of Vegemite toast through their website tomorrow. It follows the success of the Vegemite silver mini jars range. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors are here. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. South Aussie Thanasi Kokonakis says he's loving being home as he prepares for a huge summer of tennis. The 27-year-old kicked things off with a hard-fought 3-set win against Japanese qualifier Yuzuki Takahashi. That was at the City of Playford event in Elizabeth. Kokonakis says it's great to be around his family again.
It's close to home. I can see my family. I haven't seen my mum in months, so it's good seeing them. Dad travels a little bit more, so I see him. I'm sick of him. But Mum, it's good to see Mum and get a little bit of cooking.
And Kokonakis will train at Memorial Drive this morning with a big announcement on who will be playing at the Adelaide International to come and who will be in action tomorrow at the City of Playford event. To cricket, Australia is set to leave it until the very last minute before announcing its side for tonight's World Cup clash against the Netherlands. Meantime, David Koch is the leading run scorer in the tournament. That's after a brilliant 174 helped South Africa to a 149-run win against Bangladesh. And the Adelaide Strikers will recover today following a hard-fought 4-wicket win against the Melbourne Stars in their WBBL clash. They'll now prepare for their next match at Allan Border Field on Friday against the Hobart Hurricanes. To soccer, Arsenal's jumped to the top of its Champions League group following an impressive 2-1 win against SEVILLA in Spain.
He's looked sharp tonight. And Jesus scores number 2. Right on cue.
Audio thanks to Optus. Manchester United also had a 1-0 win against Copenhagen. And Matilda's defender Ellie Carpenter is shrugging off online abuse that followed their World Cup semi-final loss against England. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
Reimagine your home, elevate your life at 88 O'Connell Street Luxury Apartments. See 88o'connell.com.
At Wingfield, 3-car collision on the north-south motorway inbound to the Salisbury Highway interchange. Very solid delays there. In the city, roads closed due to the World Solar Challenge around Victoria Square affecting Great Street and Wakefield Street. Also in the city, Bartels Road is closed between Decatterville Terrace and East Terrace as for the Harvest Rock Festival reopens Monday. Cameras Mount Barker Road, Crafers West and Pine Avenue at Hahndorf. Test drive the powerful 2023 LDV T60 Max from just $36,990 drive away. That's for ABN holders. T's and C's and exclusions at ldvautomotive.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Can't remember when you had your brakes checked? It's been too long. Call 1300 Automasters now.
A shower or two and 15 today, partly cloudy tomorrow 19, sunny on Friday 24 and partly cloudy Saturday 26. At the moment 13. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
23 minutes to 9 behind closed doors is not too far away. First, though, an important story affecting an Adelaide family. One you've doubtless come across in news services here, 5AA, or indeed television or in the newspaper. Seb Stone, a young Adelaide man, was holidaying in Vietnam when he was involved in a scooter crash that left him in a coma. The good news is he's awoken from the coma. His brother has said his recovery and rate of recovery has been excellent. That said, the challenge remains to get him home. He needs what they call an air ambulance, and that doesn't come cheap. And his family are now in the process of raising money to get him back here. We're joined on the program by Silvio Giannoni, the uncle of Seb Stone. Silvio, good morning to you, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Will. Good morning, mate.
This must just be the most harrowing set of circumstances for your family, Silvio, and your poor nephew. It's good to hear that he's making something of a recovery, though.
Yeah, it has been. It's been very tough on our family. Look, the good news is he's unable to speak or walk at the moment, but he is communicating by squeezing hands and making eye movement. He's still got a long way to go, and he's got a lot of facial injuries on the right side of his face. We don't know the extent of the brain damage at this stage.
Yeah. Poor bugger. So what's the process to getting back to Adelaide involved, Silvio?
Well, right now they're speaking to the air ambulance, the medevac companies. It's a matter of the swelling on his brain to be down at a level where he's able to fly. So we don't know how long that's going to be. We're hoping, within the next 2 weeks we can get him home. But again, it still may be a little bit longer than that.
So where is he at the moment, Silvio? Which city is he in? Obviously, he's in hospital.
He's in hospital in Hanoi, and he's in the French Hanoi hospital, which apparently is, from what I hear from my sister and the family that are there, it's a fantastic hospital, and they're it's world class, and the neurosurgery department is well renowned, and it's lucky he's in Hanoi, I suppose.
Yeah, that's good news. Sure. Was anyone with him when the crash happened, Silvio?
Yeah, there was four of them. Four of his friends. Oh, sorry, four mates, including Seb, went for a holiday. It was day 4 of their trip, and they hired scooters. And Seb was at the back, and they're in this lane, which is only for scooters and bikes and mopeds. And the other 3 guys were in front of him, so they still don't know exactly what happened. But a truck either pulled out or pulled in front of him, and Seb didn't have enough time to stop. He wasn't speeding. He was wearing a helmet, and he took a full impact on his face and the right side of his head.
Oh, God.
And the rest is history, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Silvio, the family needs to raise, what is it, the figures were 283,000, and you've so far, according to the report in the Tizer yesterday, you've hit about 127,000, so you've still got about 160 to go.
Yeah, it's still about it's hit about 132 today.
That's good.
But and that's just for the medevac, the ambulance plane. To date, for the hospital, his parents have forked out $76,000 so far. And that's only in 18 days because they want payment up front, and they're still. Now he did have travel insurance, and he had the premium one, and which said it covered scooters and mopeds as long as you had an Australian driver's license. However, there's so many pages to it. On 10 pages down the policy, there's Baloney they class a scooter up to 50 cc's, but the scooter he was driving was 125 cc's. So they're saying that they won't cover him. So
you're joking.
God, they're mongrels.
That is just low rent.
They're mongrels.
We're not giving up on that.
What's the name of the insurance company, Silvio?
I can say it, can I?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it was through RAA, but I don't know who they use. It was RAA Travel Insurance.
We can talk to RAA about it because we got a good relationship with them. They're a great South Australian company. But if there's been any sort of, fine print chicanery going on, whatever relationship we have with RAA does not preclude us from pursuing that in a proper journalistic sense, mate. And
that'd be great.
There's a lot of these insurance companies that, they got deep pockets. And how often does this sort of thing happen?
Yeah.
And we're talking about a South Australian kid here.
Everyone gets travel insurance when they go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that'd be great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your support.
We'll have a word to them off air because, in the scheme of the amount of money that insurance companies make, and there's an upside for this, helping other South Australians. That's the sort of thing that they do as a company. And we're not having a crack at them because, we know that often it would just be the person in accounts going, well, hang on, I'm just checking the premium up. That's what it says. But there's always ways around things, and maybe we can find one, but maybe we can't. So we're not going to deliver any false hope, but we will give you a pledge that we will raise it. So,
how do people donate, Silvio?
On the GoFundMe page, it's under Help Us with Seb's Medical Bills and Recovery. It's organised by Thomas Stone, which is his older brother. And that's it.
Yeah. Let's get him home.
Yep,
Silvio,
absolutely.
great
Good on you,
chatting with
Silvio.
you, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Silvio Giannoni, the uncle of Seb Stone. You hear how many stories do you hear at the moment of people that had travel insurance, but they had one beer that day?
Yeah,
the whole policy doesn't count. Like it's to the layman, it feels like these things are designed to never pay out.
Well, I had a situation, and this is like very, very, very much at the completely lower end of the spectrum, where we went to France about 5 years ago for a friend's 50th, and we landed in Paris, and we had a train ready to go to Montpellier down south, and in a very French welcome to France, the trains were on strike. So we was there in Paris going, we've got to be there by tonight. You know, what do we do? And I just thought, we'll just have to fly. So I paid on the spot, you know, walk up to Air France. We need to go to Montpellier. That would be $2,000. Okay. And then there's this weird lottery system with the French rail system, whereby the refunds, they have a lottery to work out which day of the week you're entitled to a refund.
Right.
The most stupid rule you've ever heard. And they said, oh, you were coming on Wednesday. Oh, no, you didn't. That is not the day that came up in the lottery. So we couldn't get a refund. So we did our dough on the rail ticket and we had to pay $2,000. So when I got back, I contacted the insurance company. And they just... The amount of back and forth crap, and in the end didn't get a cent. Because I could spend the rest of my life trying to get $3,000 off this insurance company and just... Because it was the most convoluted process.
We just got a text on the Duttons text line from someone who I'd love to call in to explain more. Says, I feel for Seb. We're in the same position since July when my son had a similar accident in Bali. Fortunately, we flew him back and he's being treated here first at the RAH and then at Dawes Park. But the insurance company refuses to pay, which seems to happen all the time. We owe them $370,000. Could you?
This is the exact sort of thing you get insurance for.
This is why you get insurance.
You don't really get insurance for inconveniences like I lost my bag. You know, you think, well, you know what happens. But this is the higher end stuff. Is the very reason you take out these policies.
$370,000? No one. You want to remortgage your home. The things you have to do to look after your child that gets injured going on a holiday. If you're comfortable with that texter, we'd love you to call in and tell more of that story. Or provide us with some more details. That's shocking. In fact, it'd be nice to know what was the clause that prevented you guys from getting insurance payout.
$370,000. Far out.
8223 the number you can text us to on the Duttons text line. We're going to check traffic and come back with weather and behind closed doors in just a moment. Keezer, if you're tired of back pain, time to try Keezer. KIESER.com.au.
At Wingfield, 3-car collision on the north-south motorway inbound near the Salisbury Highway interchange. Very solid delays there. In the city, roads closed due to the World Solar Challenge, Victoria Square between Grade Street and Wakefield Streets. Also in the city, Bartels Road is closed between Decatable Terrace and East Terrace for the Harvest Rock Festival. Reopens Monday. Camera this morning to Arthur Street at Tranmere. For help with Hump Day, check out the quick and easy midweek pork recipes at pork.com.au. Try some pulled pork sliders, nachos or pizza tonight and get some pork on your fork. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 2.5-litre Nissan X-Trail has been awarded the 2023 Drive Car of the Year Best Medium SUV. And with Nissan Future Value Business Plus, a new fleet finance solution for small to medium businesses, you can drive the award-winning Nissan X-Trail ST for competitive weekly repayments that include the cost of scheduled servicing for the loan term. Visit nissan.com.au/business plus or contact your local Nissan dealer. Approved ABN registered small to medium fleet applicants of Nissan Financial Services. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, we, the Lynn Andrews team, have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easier for investors and tenants. Everyone is treated with empathy and respect. It's the way we do business. It's the Lynn Andrews way. For residential and commercial property management, we're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Now, some of the most amazing inventions were conceived in a shed, like the Disney Brothers cartoon studio creating the Alice comedies, which later inspired Disney's version of Alice in Wonderland.
If the Wright brothers didn't have a shed, they may never have invented the world's first aircraft.
So imagine what they could have done if they had an Olympic industry shed. Speaking of which, The Olympic Industries sale is in its final days. It's your last chance to save on Olympic Industries, sheds, carports and verandas.
Great things happen in sheds, and even greater things can happen in an Olympic Industries shed. Hurry, the sale is in its final days.
Jump online at olympicindustries.com.au and request a quote or call into Olympic Industries at Para Hills West, Clarence Gardens, Paraka and Ranella. Olympic Industries, built to last.
Remember when milk came in bottles? I mean real glass bottles. It somehow tasted better and it was better for the planet. That's why the Fluorio Milk Company have partnered with the Udder Way to bring you milk in a glass bottle. The reduction in single-use plastic bottles will be phenomenal, in the millions. Join the fight to reduce plastic and look for milk refill stations in your supermarket. Thanks to Fluorio Milk Company and the Udder Way. Visit fluoriomilkco.com.au for more.
On 5AA Mornings today, the state government wants us more interested in council elections, but not too many of us are engaged. Is that about to change? And climate scientists sound the alarm over the Earth's vital signs, saying life is now imperilled. Those stories and more, your calls as well. I'm Matthew Pantelis. Join me from 9.
Breakfast on 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Know someone finishing school and looking for an apprenticeship or a traineeship? Visit maxima.com.au.
11 to 9. Wanted to get in contact with the person who texted us, whose family's going through a similar situation to the one with Seb Stone's family, who came off a scooter in Vietnam, got hurt, and now the family having to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. Roz is the person who sent us the text. Roz, good morning to you.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, we're good, Roz. Can you tell us a bit more about your story, your son in Bali? What happened?
He had a scooter accident in the middle of the night in Lembogan Island. He had to get transported back to the mainland with not much chance of life. Spent 3.5 days in BIMC hospital, who I say did a great job of keeping him alive on ICU. Unfortunately, they managed to get the insurance company to fly him home as long as I signed as a guarantor that if they didn't process the claim in his favour, then I would pay for it. So 2 weeks after we got back, they denied his claim.
Oh, Roz, what was the grounds on which they denied the claim, Robs?
And the ground was he didn't tick a box that said he would ride a scooter. And if he rode that scooter, he had to let them know 24 hours beforehand and pay a $7, which is nothing, a $7 upfront payment, and then they could $7. But he obviously just bought the insurance and didn't look at it closely enough. So, yeah.
Which is what so many people would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the one we usually buy, everything's covered. You tick the box for the best insurance and you think everything's covered.
So you were as guarantor, Roz. What was the bill?
I was guarantor, apparently, yeah.
What was the bill?
It hasn't been finalised, but it was 370-something thousand. So 176 for the Medivac and 200 and something thousand for the hospital.
My God.
And that was without the actual being on the island. He had to pay a $4,000 bill up front for the treatment there. And then I think it was about $3,000 for a boat in the middle of the night with his friends pumping oxygen, hand pumping oxygen into him.
So, Roz, can I ask, how on earth are you going to pay $370,000?
Well, they said something about a payment plan. Yeah, I really don't know. We did the same thing. We set up a GoFundMe, which has reached 70,000, so I suppose that cut it down a bit. But, yeah, it's just a nightmare.
How do people find the GoFundMe, Roz?
Yeah, it's on GoFundMe under Blake Gibb, I guess.
Under what, sorry, Roz?
Blake Gibb.
Blake Gibb. G-I-B-B. B-L-A-K-E, Gibb.
B-L-A-K-E, and then G-I-B-B. Yeah, but, I mean, in the meantime, fortunately, he's gone from a 5% chance of living to doing extremely well. He's walking, talking, eating, recovering at Dawes Park. He's about to have an operation on Monday to put his skull, a titanium skull, back on, fix the dent, as he calls it, in his head, because he's got a big piece missing. Yeah, so apart from that, Australian hospitals, everyone are perfect. They look after you and they don't charge you, which is fantastic. He's had so much treatment here, and the Bali Hospital did as good a job as they could, but of course they have to charge because they're a third world country and they've got nothing coming in unless they...
And, of course you're always going to pay. It's your child's life.
But
you're never going to say no.
No, you can't just say, oh, no, we'll leave it until the insurance company coughs up.
Wow.
No. Yeah.
Stay in touch with us on this, Ros, because there might be stuff that we can do to look into it further for you as well. But geez, I've taken out 6 insurance policies for my wife and our 4 kids for our trip to Mexico at the end of the year. And I tell you what, after I get my columns knocked off this afternoon, I'm going to sit down and read every single syllable of those policies. These are cautionary tales for everyone leaving the country.
I think you need a lawyer to look through them, and I think really they should be banned if they're not going to cover people, because since his accident, which is now 3 months, there have been so many GoFundMe set up.
Yeah.
And it's fair that ordinary people are they're not having to, but out of their generosity, they are donating when the insurance companies are making big money.
For sure.
I'm not paying for what they say they will pay for.
Yeah,
you look at the way everyone's premiums have just gone.
This whole thing
crazy, crazy. What's your house insurance now?
Oh God, it's outrageous.
Well, like $4,000, 4,300 or something.
Let's stay in touch with Ross. We'll keep her details and we'll check in again because more needs to be done to support people like that. Just an awful story. Could happen to anyone.
Yeah, this is a story that should attract government attention. I mean, think about some of the things that do attract government attention, like the apparently pressing need to crack down on caffeinated drinks for children yesterday.
5 to 9. We're going to take a quick break. What we'll do is we'll come back with the Behind Closed Doors and Fuel Watch in just a moment.
Are you ready to be blown away by a new BT50 bargain? Mawson Lakes Mazda has put together the complete BT50 package. With the purchase of a new BT50, you get free on roads and $1,000's worth of exclusive accessories free. On top of that, you'll get our 5-year warranty and 5 years roadside assist. Or check out our heavily accessorised demo models. There are heaps to choose from. Mawson Lakes Mazda's complete BT50 packages. Stocks won't last, so hurry. Just a short drive from the city.
My fellow weeds, we shall fight them in the flower beds and between the pavers. We shall prevail!
Stop weeds from invading your space. Yates Zero Triple Strike penetrates, accelerates and terminates weeds.
Ray White, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA.
I'm Kathy Nagel, the Chief Executive of Western Hospital Henley Beach. Eye healthcare, cataract surgery and glaucoma management are all health issues that can appear unexpectedly, and specialist treatment is often required. Western Eye Care at Western Hospital boasts 7 ophthalmic surgeons, on-site diagnostics, surgery options and a wide range of aftercare for all eye healthcare needs. For more information, visit westernhospital.com.au or call 8159 1200. That's 8159 1200.
Breakfast on 5AA. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Jobs, apprenticeships, traineeships and careers. Maxima can help. Learn more today at maxima.com.au.
3 to 9, time for Fuel Watch. Download the free RA app today to find the cheapest fuel in an instant. Cheap spots, $1.79.5 the ex-convenience Goodall Road at Panorama, $1.77.5 the ex-convenience Main North Road at Jeps Cross, and the cheapest
perpetrator that may or may not be involved in the event, but at the same time not discounting the underlying assumption of innocent until proven guilty.
That's right, Daniel. There are choices you make to do with your associations and who you decide to run with, which will ultimately render you less qualified to receive bail.
Right. So, just let me unwrap that slightly. Just hear me out, because I need to wrap my head around the concept of supposition of presumption of what may or may not have occurred because of the underlying suspicion of guilt or innocence, layered with other instances whereby we need to be cognizant of the outcome to do with special circumstances that may or may not have links to different aspects of the ultimate outcome.
That's right, Daniel. If you're someone who's accused of an organised criminal activity, you are presumed to not deserve bail unless you can prove special circumstances.
Okay, so that just feels to me like another layer of the argument that goes counterintuitively on top of the other layers of counterintuitivity.
That's exactly what it is, Daniel.
Okay, let me just try to pull the threads together and at the same time peel back the layers to reveal the underlying structure that holds the body of the argument forward against the overall concept that we're dealing with.
Okay.
There's that third layer, which is a cross-section of subjectivity around who does, who doesn't, why is it, why isn't it, when or where or how or why, ultimately who has the opportunity, as opposed to who is precluded from having the opportunity in a fog of intrigue that has a veil of maskability which can, apropos of our discussion about the bail conditions, ultimately decide the fate of a proponent of the said transgression, which will, when you peel it back, reveal what it is that you know it is made of.
Yes.
Matt Pantelis is on the way. We are out of time. We'll catch you tomorrow morning from 6.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Shower